loud and full of flair. Eric's got the banter on the midnight air. Grouch is crackling codes without a care. Rob's antenna reaching everywhere. Hamtubers on air once a month, you know. Yeah, live streaming those adventures, it's a show. Izzo throwing signals high and low. Marvin's got that frequency glow. Salty wall with tales of static gold. Antenna tales that never get old. Every frequency a story told. These airwaves hotter than any bull. Hamtubers on air once a month, you know. Yeah, live streaming those adventures, it's a show. Izzo throwing signals high and low. Marvin's got that frequency glow. Waves crashing, stories passion, airways full of passion. Dial in for the action, every month it's satisfaction. Hamtubers on air once a month, you know. You know. Yeah, live streaming those adventures, it's a show. It's a show. Izzo throwing signals high and low. Marvin's got that frequency glow.
And there we go.
All right.
We are live. And since Shannon's in the leader seat, you know, she can run the show, right?
Yep,
Nice.
there we go. Hey, what's up, Toddy?
How you guys doing?
Oh, there it
Where's
is.
our fearless leader? Is he off today?
I haven't heard from Eric, so I don't know.
See, that's the second time somebody's called him a fearless leader in the last 10 minutes.
Did someone else say that?
Yeah,
Yep.
with me. I said, where's our fearless leader?
He's probably co-ed naked in the backseat of some freaking station wagon.
Right. It is Saturday night.
If you know, you know.
He's returning the minivan to Hertz. He had some explaining to do.
Oh, that's hard.
Well, I guess since we're live, we might as well go around the horn and see how everybody's doing. We'll start at the bottom with Todd.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Great.
So, you know, everything with me is never easy. So I got the easiest node going, right? And it should just be work from the app. Well, I've been trying all week to get the damn thing to connect to my phone. And there's not a lot of YouTube videos to tell you how to do it to the phone. You should just be able to put it in. Well, for some reason, it doesn't work. Then I found something in some group that said that it's sometimes difficult with Verizon. So I was like, I'm done. I'm just switching. So I'm getting a node tomorrow, and I'm switching to T-Mobile. And I'm just putting a shout out to T-Mobile because those guys are going to pay off. Like, I have 13 devices between my kids, me, my wife, and my parents. And I have over $2,000 of payoff amounts on all 13 of those items. They're paying it all off. No contract. And my bill's going to go from $525 to $307. I'm like, really? I'm like, all right,
Nice.
I'm out of here. Because it's not an easy thing because you have to bring all the devices in, get all the numbers and switch it over. And then you got to fill in all these rebates to get the virtual credit cards. It's just like a nightmare. So I was like, all right, I'm getting this done because I really want to use All-Star in my car and not at home.
Okay.
I mean, I'll use it at home, but I use the 2 meter and the 70 centimeter most of the time at in the car. So I was like, all right, I want to get on this. And now that I get this node, or no, this what do you call it? What did I say it was? Hotspot.
All-Star? Oh, the hotspot.
Yeah, the hotspot to connect the All-Star to. It'll be, and she said it works differently than the phone. because she says it goes directly to the tower, so it's like way better than the hotspot like on your phone. And I've heard that before, like a regular separate hotspot works better. So anyway, that's going to happen tomorrow. Hopefully I'll be testing it out, and by Monday on my way to work, I can get on All-Star in the car. So that's my ham radio. That's my ham radio week is what I've been doing. I was planning on working the rail trail, but work got a little crazy and just wasn't in. And then the one day I could have done it was pouring down rain. So I was like, I'm not doing that. I mean, literally, the one day I had time to do it, it was like pouring. So
now, did you use my my T-Mobile referral link?
well, I gave it to her, but I haven't done it yet.
Oh, okay.
Right. So I have your link, and I said, well, I'm going to come back tomorrow, which was Friday. And then I got caught up, and I had an emergency court hearing and all this stuff. And I called her. I said, listen, I'm not going to be able to make it. And then they're like, well, I go, you there on Saturday? And she's like, no, but I work Sunday, like 11 to 4. I said, all right, I'll come at 11 o'clock on Sunday. So I'll be there tomorrow at 11. I'm gathering all the devices, so I don't have to do anything remote, and I'm just going to get it all done. So
nice.
And then they also gave me a tester line, which is pretty cool. So you can put like 2 lines or more. I think you can put unlimited lines on your phone. So I have like my primary Verizon and then my tester line of T-Mobile, and I can run them both simultaneously. And then when you make a phone call, it says which service do you want to use, or cool. You can just turn off your primary and just use the T-Mobile. So when I'm like driving around or home, I just was been checking like where do I go and do I have service, and it works at my house, which Verizon doesn't, because I live in a town that Verizon sucks. It works. Hey, Grouch, it works a lot. I haven't been by your house, but it works a lot in Merrimack, because I drive through Merrimack. And they had said that they had bought, and I didn't realize this, but T-Mobile bought U.S. Cellular and Sprint like years ago, and they actually have more rural towers than Verizon does. So if you live outside the cities and you're in the rural areas, you might have better service. So
yeah, I was really surprised. Like, I mean, I went from literally having zero service anywhere I went to now I've got 4G, 5G everywhere.
Oh, did you switch to? Oh yeah, you switched, right? Because I'm using your referral. Yeah, that's the other thing. Everything is 5G. Which in Verizon, like I haven't had, and then I asked her, I said, why is your, like, I'm on 101A, like those, if you know Nashua, some of you might, if you're listening, if you don't, it's like the main strip of stores, right? Like it's like strip mall after strip mall, Lowe's, everything, restaurants. I'm sitting in the store and I'm on SOS mode, and I'm literally like maybe a quarter of a mile from the Verizon store, and I'm at SOS, no signal. And I'm like, look, I go, do you guys have Wi-Fi here? Because I can't even open anything. And they were just laughing. I said, how come you guys have 5G everywhere and they have nothing? I guess they use like a ultra wide band, and they use a narrower band. And I guess the narrower band has a stronger signal, but you need more towers because it doesn't go out as far. So Verizon's using a wide band, I guess is what they call it. So it goes out farther, reaches the towers, but it sucks for the consumer because it doesn't have enough. It's not as strong as being connected to the tower. So anyway, I'm switching over. I've been with Verizon for 23 years. So what's going to happen as soon as I switch. I'm going to be like, oh, please come back. You've been a loyal customer. We could give you your service for $100 a month.
Dude, I pay over $300 a month for my cell stuff.
Yeah, but I've got 13. You got a lot of devices because I got my parents. I've got, and then the problem is I had to tell my family, like, no more freaking going to the cell phone store and upgrading your phones. Because, it's free, Dad. It's free. No, it's not. Because you might have say you have a $2,000 phone, you get halfway done, you've paid $1,000, they go buy another phone, they put another. That's why I'm like, you owe like $600 on your phone. Oh, I'm due for an upgrade. Yeah, I don't care what you're due for. You still owe $600 on that phone.
But you're saving like $100 to $200 a month, now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in like 6 months, you'll finally be able to get an ICOM. And like, I mean, they're on sale now at Gigaparts for like $900.
Hey,
They're trying to get rid of these things.
I-
Like, get them out the door before Christmas, before the new one drops.
I broke my rule and I bought my first Baofeng. Have you seen that mini one? It's like
I have the GMRS one. I got to do a review on. I got to play with it.
They have this like, I don't know, 5R mini. It's wicked small, and everyone in the club has them. And Ryan bought one. And when I went to breakfast on Wednesday, I had to go out to the Seacoast. So I always plan anytime I can go north of Nashua. I always do my trips on Wednesday so I can hit breakfast and still be at work. Yeah, Bob, you want my cell account? You want to go on my account? We'll just add 14. Anyway, yeah, so I went what was I talking about? Jesus Christ. Just lost it.
Breakfast.
Your
You took a
the
took a
Baofeng.
trip.
Yeah. So everyone's got these Baofengs, and I see them, and they're wicked tiny, right? And
They are.
I'm like, oh, look at these things, and then Ryan had one. Now Ryan, he doesn't buy crap. Like he buys like professional grade towers when most people just buy, home towers. He puts like a full, if you've seen his tower, it is like enormous, and it's like radio professional grade. So he's at this Baofeng. I'm like, you got one? He goes, oh yeah. He goes, I'm just using it to monitor my repeater. He goes, but I kind of like it. It's pretty good because you can program it from an app on your phone through Bluetooth. I was like, so of course Ralph, who is the Baofeng / Quansheng king, says, oh, you got to go on. He goes, you can get them on Amazon for like $35. I'm like, I ain't paying $35 for a Baofeng. And he goes, oh, but if you can wait, you can go on, was it Temu? Or is that what it is? Temu or Banggood or one of those Chinese things. So I
Temu,
go on,
Banggood,
so
Alibaba.
I go on there and I find one that's like, now it's got a see-through front face, like it's clear. I'm like, oh, that looks pretty cool. Yeah, I found one for $19, free shipping. I was like, well, for $20, I mean, shit, I might as well. I mean, even if it sucks.
He's got the prison wallet edition.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm gonna have. I'm like, I can't believe I bought my first Baofeng. But
congrats.
Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use it because when I drive the state car, I'm gonna use how am I gonna do that? I think I'm gonna use that as the radio in the state car.
With the All-Star node?
Yeah, with the All-Star node. That way, it'll be easy to move in and out. And I don't want to bring my my good Yaesu radio. Yaesu, the 3D that they don't make anymore that kicks ass. That sounds great.
Hey, Paul.
Yeah.
How does it go? $20 is $20.
Yeah.
$20 is $20.
We'll put it
I've
this
heard that
way.
before.
I spent more than $20 at that breakfast that day. So I was like, well, it's cheaper than breakfast.
But all right. So speaking of $20 is $20 and All-Star, Mike had a stream the other night where he had Freddie Mac on.
I did.
Nice.
I did. And that was because we were too lazy to make a real video. Like, Freddie, and I told the story the other night. So if everyone's heard it, I apologize. But yeah, so we didn't have anything for Thursday night. And I know we've been doing Thursday night ham radio for over a year. And we've been doing Tuesday night for, over 2. And it just, I hate having, like, I'm one for streaks. I like streaks, right? That momentum, you want to keep going. And so when I was watching Clubhouse Tuesday and Freddie hopped on, I got the idea, and I had been drinking, but I was like, if we don't have a video, and I messaged him like, hey, if no one else has a video, we're not going to have one. What do you say we just go live? Let's just go live at 7:30 and let's just fill the gap. We'll have something out there. We'll talk All-Star. I got a ton of beginner noob questions that actually might be a benefit to, people and stuff. And I got, a comment or two already and stuff. And it was helpful for me. So we had fun. It was good. And kept the streak alive.
Have you used that Parrot channel where it tells you your
I'm
signal
still
report?
waiting for my number.
Oh, all right.
I am still waiting for the number, unless I
Wait,
got to go
you
back
mean
in and look for it.
it's
But
not 867-530?
you like that? Freddie was dying after. I was like, I got the idea like in the beginning of the stream. I'm like, this is how I'm going to end it. And stuff. So yeah, I figured it was fun.
So
but,
the parrot, have you used the parrot node, Paul?
Yeah, 55553.
Yeah, so it tells you, you know, it'll repeat what you just broadcasted in. It's always telling me, it's like your mic is way too loud. Your mic. So I turn everything down to like low, and it still says it's loud. And I'm holding the mic like and I hear it back. I'm like, it sounds fine. So
You have a very nice resonant voice, Todd. That's why.
that's why it doesn't like me. Saying it
Exactly.
sucks, but I hear
It's
it back. I'm like,
perfect.
oh, it
That's why
sounds good.
It wants to drive you crazy, dude.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. I mean, it's gonna be fun, and but it's been a nightmare. I mean, I went to the breakfast. One of our members is like, oh well, let's just put in your what, you know, do it manually. So I did it manually, and one of the problems is I don't have cell service here, so I take it off when I try to do it manually. I can't test it, and you have to be on connected to the node to be able to switch to get it to connect for the first time, and I can't do it when I don't have service. So there was no way for me to try it out because it would go to cellular, and then there's no service, so it would never connect. And you can't connect. Like I tried to, it won't connect. Like when you're in service, you have to be connected to get it to do it, I guess, the first time. And maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm doing it wrong, but that's what someone told me.
did Todd freeze for just me, or is it everyone else?
Oh, what happened?
No, his video's frozen. Yeah.
Okay.
Where'd I go? You guys hear me?
Yeah, you're still there. I think you're
Yeah.
on Verizon. Switch back to T-Mobile.
Yeah.
He's got a very concerned look on his face.
Oh no. I gotta get at it. What's going on?
Yeah. All right. Well, he's sorting it out.
All right, yeah, I'll come back.
All right. So we got Shannon, who's never been on the Northeast Hams before.
Have I?
Welcome,
not?
Shannon. Oh no. Oh, were you on last month? Maybe I just forgot.
That was the Live Free and Ham. That was your
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh, yeah,
The-
that was,
yeah, the-
that was
the-
the POTA
the-
wrap up. That's right.
but yeah.
Yeah.
I can't.
So welcome to Northeast Ham.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm
you wanna-
glad to be here.
We're glad
Tell
to
people
have
about yourself and your channel. How's your week been?
Well, my name is Shannon. My call signs are KC1OHT here in the United States, or 2 Echo 0 Oscar Hotel Tango in the United Kingdom. And I've been a ham since 2020. I have a 7-year-old son named Miles who keeps me busy most of the time. But while he's in school, I like to go out and activate POTA parks.
Nice.
So I went out on a POTA on Tuesday. I went to Halibut Point State Park in Rockport, Massachusetts. I had to slum it and use my Zygu G90 at 20 watts because I had loaned out my FT710. But I managed to make 48 contacts between 1434 and 1700 UTC. Between the bands of 10 meters, 12 meters, 15 meters, and 17 meters.
Nice.
I think as far west as Washington State and as far east as like Germany, Austria.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
So it was pretty awesome.
It's always good to get coast to coast and then Europe at the same time.
Yep.
Because for me, it's normally one or the other, right?
Yeah. Now I just dropped the link to Shannon's channel in the chat. I know she just got over the 50 subscribers, which is important for live streams and stuff like that. So anyone who's watching, and we'll remind, at the end too, and make a point, definitely, give her channel a sub as she's getting started. I know a lot of us, when we've just gotten started, every sub makes a huge difference, and it doesn't cost you guys anything, but it makes a big difference in a whole host of things behind the scenes, from like going live. I know Paul's familiar with this, like doing redirects like from one video to another video, like all kinds of things are built in. And I'm not even getting to the monetization stuff yet. Just like some of the behind the scenes stuff that you might want to do, it's important to get those subscribers. So definitely give her channel a sub. So
Thank you,
Yep.
everyone who subscribes. I greatly appreciate it. I cannot guarantee that I'm going to have, the most polished, planned out videos. Mostly, I just like to film, little clips of POTA activation so I can show friends and family members, because Discord doesn't really let you upload large videos. But, who knows what the future may bring.
Well, I saw you work the radio at the 24-hour POTA, and I was very impressed. She's a machine. She got on that, and we had shitty conditions, and she was going to town. I'm like, look at her go.
Well, wait till you see the video of Paul and I doing a POTA activation on Thursday, where I may or may not have been bossing him around a little bit. Tell this person to stand by. Call this person next.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's all good. That's that's the POTA teamwork, right? I heard this, and so like if one person hears a prefix or a suffix clearer than the other person did, then you just communicate and then call that person. It's no big deal.
Yeah, no,
right?
honestly, that is what it's all about. It's all about teamwork and helping the other person, making sure both people heard the right call sign and getting them in the log and getting those contacts made. So, that's just personally how I like to run my POTA activations. And I really like, to POTA with other people. I think it's just way more fun to POTA with a friend. So I'm always open to, having another person come to POTA and, fully experience the joy of making contacts in nature, even when nature is pissing down rain on top of you.
Oh, you guys were out in the rain doing it?
Well, we were sitting in Paul's truck.
Oh, all right. Well, see, I wasn't as brave. I was like, I could hear it coming down on my work building, like on the roof, like when it pours, and it sounds like thunder. And I look outside and I can't even see where I parked. I'm like, nope, not happening. So
cool.
What antenna did you guys use?
Let's segue into the subject of the show.
Yeah. Well, all right. So we'll touch on antennas, I guess. But first, let's check in with Michael.
I'm here. I'm just listening. Anyways, just got off of 24 hours of work in 2 days. Amazon facility down in Izzoland in Connecticut. I was in Windsor for a little bit. I got dogs going ballistic in the background, getting ready and packed up for Near Fest. Can't wait. October 3rd and 4th. Need to be there. It's going to be fun. And I just haven't felt the urge to get the 2 videos I have sitting in the can, so to speak, edited and put out. But I'll get them out. I promise. Someday. Probably this week. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know. I feel like a little slump. I don't know. Mike, how you doing? Todd, how you doing? Shannon, how you doing? And as always, Paul, how are you doing?
Yeah, how's your ham radio week been, Paul?
Like Shannon said, we got to activate on Thursday, so that was good. Otherwise, I've been primarily just kind of focusing on getting some videos done that were way overdue, and now getting ready for Nearfest. So I've got some issues with the RV that have come up. My primary fan, exhaust fan, died, so I got to replace that with a better one. The steps on the RV absolutely drive me nuts. So I got an email the other day, and it was like, oh, you can get the really nice Lippert fold down steps, the ones that fold up into the doorway, and they're normally like $380, but they had them on sale for I think $280, and I had a $125 gift card plus I had another $25 in rewards points. So it ended up costing like $170. So
Oh,
I'm
nice.
excited to get the new stairs put in. It'd be a little easier getting in and out of here. But yeah, getting prepped for Nearfest, man. That's
Are you going Thursday or Friday?
yeah, I'll be there Thursday.
Thursday.
Yep, I got my camping ticket, my entry ticket, and I already stuck it in the visor of the truck so that I wouldn't fucking lose it this year. Because last year last year I threw it in the drawer in the RV, and it just kind of got lost in all the paperwork that's in the drawer. And so then I'm heading to Nearfest, and I pulled over on the side of 13 because I was a couple hours early. I think you can't check in till 3. And yeah, dude, I was pulling the RV apart on the side of the road trying to find those damn tickets.
Yeah, I'm paying at the door because I was too stupid enough to for one time. Yeah, I'm gonna be paying at the door. I'm gonna say, hey, give me my stuff. Here's the cash. Let's go.
Yeah, how much is it at the door?
When you pull in,
Yeah, I
they
know. How
take the
much is
money
it?
there.
What's the difference?
Nothing.
Oh, just convenience.
Yeah, pretty much. I think
Yeah,
you
I
get
mean,
a
I know that
discount.
they want you to buy your ticket ahead of time, but
Yeah, I can hear Shannon
uh,
teething.
is Izzo coming up for Nearfest?
Ooh.
Yeah, it looks like he is. I think he said he was trying to eke out of us on the Discord whether he should come up on Thursday and stay over or come up on Friday and stay over. So
Oh, definitely better to come up Friday and stay over for sure.
Yeah, Friday's better.
if
Friday's the main event. So
yeah, he should definitely bring a tent and a cot. Oh, yep, yes, I am. He says.
It's
yeah,
a little.
outstanding.
It's going to be a little chilly in the evening. Looks like 42 degrees for a low.
Oh, that's nothing.
Yeah, I know
We
that's.
had a couple 2 years ago. It was 28 degrees, dude. It was slightly chilly that night or that morning.
It's going to be 84 up here tomorrow.
Listen, yeah, I would rather be on the chilly side than
Yeah.
sweating
Yeah.
to death. So
No, I got 2 heaters. I'm good to go. We'll be nice and warm.
Yeah, that actually reminds me. I got to fill my propane tanks before.
Let me know. I'll strap an extra one to the camper if you need it.
Well, I got 2 spare 20s, but I got 40s on the front. So yeah, I just got to fill those.
Yeah, 40s won't fit on the front of mine because of the flip over, the fold over. Yeah, that'd be cool.
All right, Mike, I put you up in the hot seat because you're the star of the antenna battle.
Yes. And so I'm going to get it started. We did this with one of the last ones, and I thought it was fun. So I saved a few of the AI generated drafts for the thumbnail, and so I'm going to show some of these because we try to come up with a topic to give us a little bit of direction, but it's hard to give too much direction to this group and the happy hour, but I'm gonna go through and just kind of show some of these and stuff. I get it, and Paul and I were joking before, like when I get an idea, I just like run with it, and I just whether it's for a video or a stupid thumbnail or whatever, like I go all in. And some of the little Easter eggs and stuff, like the signs in the crowd, that I think it's like hilarious. At that, it's AI, and the only thing I use AI is for this stuff, for doing the happy hour thumbnails. That's about it. So let me pull up I just got 3 of them. So Oh, okay.
It's probably not picking up our audio. So
Oh,
now
no.
that should be better.
And
Okay.
but now
So-
are we all stacked up on top of each other?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
Our
Yep.
seat is
It's-
all messed up.
What a bunch of amateurs.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So
Um,
go ahead, Mike. Now finish explaining because we've been talking to ourselves apparently.
yeah. Well, all right. Let's go. Let's go back to the main scene. So, okay. So all the nuggets of joy I just dropped, I'll just sum up real quick. Those were a couple of the thumbnails that didn't quite make the cut. Some of the signs are hilarious, and and you saw like the DX Commander rocks, put a wire in a tree, just put up a dipole, all these funny things. All the stuff that you hear are Elmer's or other hams say, and so I had fun with this, and I think we're gonna have a really fun stream tonight talking about horizontal versus vertical when it comes to antennas. And the thing that I googled shortly after when I posted the idea, because in Discord, Izzo and a few others were like, "Oh, sloper, inverted V. What about these?" And so, if we had to really categorize things as the vertical and the horizontal, I did a search and I got like it depends kind of thing from AI. What do you guys think? Like as far
AI
as
is now giving ham answers.
yeah, well, at the top of the Google, it's like the AI thing, and so and what was it like the inverted V? It said something like, "Well, it's a vertical antenna, but it's horizontally polarized," and this and that, and so you know,
What?
let's just say, what are your thoughts like when we talk about the slopers and the inverted V's? Do you consider those like horizontal or vertical? Do you use that option often or not? What do you think, Michael? You're right next to me.
Yeah, I know. And I got my drink right in front of me here. I think a 45 horizontal is the best of both worlds because you kind of catch the difference between the vertical. I mean, we in the commercial world we preach vertical. Everything's vertical, and it's even when I tell them to hold a handheld, I'm like, dude, you need to hold it vertically. Whether the antenna is upside down or straight up, it's vertical, and they don't get that. But anyways, but I mean, when you're at a 45, you kind of catch both the vertical and the horizontal antennas. And by the time the wave gets to you, it doesn't matter anyways, whether it was vertical or horizontal.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my thought process. I like I like horizontal. It's easier to throw up. You don't have to worry about trees and stuff above you and falling over into a power line, et cetera, et cetera.
Gotcha. What about you, Shannon? I know you got some opinions on this.
Well, I mean, like I just said in chat, I mean, for HF, it seems like the polarization per se doesn't really matter, right? Because the signal is going to hit the ionosphere, it's going to start rotating. I personally mostly end up using vertical antennas when I'm on POTA because I use, Wolf River coil or just the whip on top of my car. But at home, I use a long wire antenna that's in a sloper configuration. So I guess that would be like the sign on the failed thumbnail said horizontal, right?
Yeah, horizontal. I like that. No, you make a good point when you talk about POTA, and some of it might depend. It's that answer, and I know that Tim made a comment about it kind of depends what bands, what times of day, and there's we always go back to it depends. But if you're doing something like POTA and you're not concerned about directionality, or lobes or anything like that, then I definitely see a lot of value in a vertical, so that you're, as they say, omnidirectional, and verticals they're bad in all directions. It's but at least you're hearing in all directions. You're not. When I do the VHF stuff, polarization really matters for line of sight, and you're usually using directional antennas to try to get gain, and that really matters. But then you got to pay attention to where you're pointing, where you're aiming, how you're polarized, and everything. But for POTA, I definitely think it's great for verticals. That said, you know, depending on bands, if you're doing things like 40 meters, which is a great band in the Northeast because of the ham density up here, um, then I think anything horizontal, unless you can get that thing up, over 30 feet, it's still going to have invis properties and whatnot. So that's why I think like the verticals are definitely for a lot of the portable ops are nice in the smaller footprint. But if you're trying to do invis and I do WinLink Wednesday and some of those things regularly, and you're just looking to warm up the clouds, then that low end fed horizontal that I do it right off my deck to the fence post, like it's 4 feet up. It's just high enough so it doesn't choke the dogs, and and that works great for that. So again, it's that it depends. But what do you
Well,
think, Paul? Oh, sorry, Mike, you're jumping
oh
in.
well, no, I was just gonna say, I noticed, I have a lot of I have an end-fed half wave. I have a myantennas.com up on the up on my mast that runs out to a sailboat mast, believe it or not. So it's kind of almost flat. But I noticed I have a lot of directionality with that. It's in a north-south orientation, so I get tons east and west. But when I'm trying to get like POTA power or any of the southern stations, it's just harsh. Low signal. I know end-fed half waves are very directional. So I'm going to I'm going to put another one up, and I'm probably going to put a Reliance up on the mast also. I'm going to put that in an east-west orientation and see if that helps me out. And I just flip the switch. But definitely north-south, you definitely get east-west a lot with an end fed anyways. Go ahead, Paul. Sorry.
No, it's all good. So it's interesting, like because we're talking, kind of a little bit of a mix between home and portable. Um, so at home, right? My antenna was 65 feet up in the air. Just a horizontal dipole. But I'm the type of person now where I carry a compass in my POTA bag because the orientation 100% matters. And Chris Radio in Life, KD9 YSW, he will attest to this because when we activated the park in Wisconsin, I threw the wire through the tree and I didn't check the orientation. I didn't get my compass out and check it. And it was way off. Like we weren't hearing hardly anybody. We weren't getting out. And so I pulled it down and I literally oriented it 90 degrees different and threw it back up in the tree, and night and day. Like stations that were way down in the noise were suddenly crystal clear. So I'm a big one for wires being in some fashion of a horizontal fashion. But get your compass out, try and get it, about kind of like 10 to 15 degrees, northeast to a southwest orientation. That way it kind of gives you the best of your north and east west, south and east west, but yeah, and it definitely, it makes a difference. Height is might. But there are other times where I'll be in a wildlife refuge and you can't throw a wire in a tree, or you can't stake anything in the ground, and so I'll put the Wolf River coil up, and it works. It's to me it's not as effective as a horizontal wire.
Yeah, and you raise a good point because as you were talking, like I usually check, and some of the parks that I go to often, I know what's north, south, east, west already. But if I don't, I use like the compass app on my phone real quick to figure out like, okay, which way is what direction's north, so I can kind of figure out, because I've noticed, with end-fed slopers and some stuff like that, you definitely get some dark directionality, but you don't always have that luxury sometimes when you were just talking about some of the wildlife areas. When Paul, when you and I activated in the Pittstown State Forest, we kind of just parked the car and I just looked up and there was, like where a tree, like to keep the antenna from going into the road. And like there wasn't a whole lot of options, to put up, and we put up a full 40-meter end fed, and I don't even know, I didn't pay attention to what direction it sloped. Like sometimes where your hand is kind of forced because of where you're located or where the tree is or whatever. It's like, well, it's going to run this way. It is what it is. We had no issues. I know we got out there fine with it, but
And QRP.
But I was thinking, I was like, did I even pay attention to the direction? I'm like, I don't think so. I think I just walk. I'm like, okay, that tree will do. And I just walked there with the throwaway, and I was like, okay, boom, let's get it up, first throw, and let's go. but
It was a great throw.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I know Todd does not put wires in trees, but
No, I do. I do, just not very often. But listen, I'm gonna tell you, when Paul and I worked, when we did our last POTA together, and we put that, I was pretty impressed with that wire. I mean, that thing was awesome. But for me, I don't have the time. Like, I'm literally, when I'm activating during lunch, I have an hour. So
yeah, I feel.
And I've gotten so used to the buddy pole, like I can do it like with my eyes shut. I mean, and tune it, like I've been tuning it down like 1.2, 1.3. And I'll tell you, for POTA, it works awesome because I've been in New Hampshire and I've gotten Alaska, just not in a park, Alaska in North Pole, Alaska 5.9, multiple times, multiple stations. I've gotten Europe a ton of times. I've gotten South America, and I've gotten coast to coast. So the vertical that I've seen with POTA is it kind of works everywhere. Like I don't, like at home, I can get about, normally I can get about halfway west. I get all south, north, and all of Europe. But anything past like Colorado, even Texas is sometimes hard to get. Now, sometimes the bands are good and I can get the coast to coast at home, and that's just the way I have an off-centered dipole,
Okay.
at my house. So that's why I think the vertical in POTA, the negative is like you can't just switch frequency. You can't switch bands without adjusting your antenna, right? Where the wire, you can just kind of go from 10 meters, 20 meters, 40 meters. With the buddy pole, I gotta mess around with it. But I've had great luck with it, and I've taken it everywhere. I mean, when I go on those trips, I just throw it in the backpack and set it up. And I've been to parks where they you can't throw wires in the trees, and thank God I had it, because what would I do? But I always bring the wire with me, and if I have more time, I'll throw it up in the tree because I like using it.
I was going to say one thing with there's a couple of verticals that I've done that I would say are definitely multi-banded. I know typical masts, and just using normal thing, you usually see like 10-meter masts, 33 feet. I have an MFJ one that's I think 33 feet. There's like the POTA 20, but then there's the newer POTA that's 30 or 33 feet. You can, with that, you can pretty much get a 20-meter end fed half wave element vertical, which is nice because then you're getting you got a half wave dipole vertical. So you're getting the benefits of the takeoff angle, but the gain that you're getting and the efficiency with it being a half wave. And at least on that, you could do 10 and 20 and stuff. You're going to get some lobes on 10 because it's going to be a harmonic. But the other, for random wires, there's two random wire verticals that I've done that are pretty good. And especially, when it comes to takeoff angles, one's the Rybakov, which is 25 feet random wire with a 4-to-1. And that easily, 40 through 10 or 6, it should work. And then the other with a 9-to-1, 29 feet is a really good length, especially if you have one of those 30-foot masts. You can do run a wire, and then I've run just a short counterpoise. So if I'm tied to really activating from a parking spot, but I want a multi-band antenna where I feel like I'm going to be out for a few hours and I might jump between 20 and 15 or something else. The 29-foot random wire with a 9-to-1, I think, is a really good vertical. You can obviously do it in an inverted V or as a slope or anything else, but I think the 30, 33-foot mast, 10-meter masts, if you want to go metric, I think those are a pretty good, those are pretty common. And so, I think that's a realistic multi-band vertical option right there. And stuff. And I've had good luck with both of those working, 40 down to 10 realistically. Like I've made some 6-meter contacts on both, but I mean, that's without openings, and that's local stuff.
Like when I do POTA, like this time of year, especially now that 10's back open, I start with 10. And if I can't activate the park on 10, I'll go to 20. And then I normally do 20. I find that the buddy pole is really harder to tune on 40. And you can do it, but it's finicky. You got to really mess around. And again, like the buddy pole, one of the things I like about it is that it has that raised counterpoise, like radial.
Yeah,
so
and that's good for efficiency.
Yeah, so that's and I've learned that they have like the little markers, like for it's got like a chart that says like blue is 20, red 10, whatever, and you you just adjust it. But I found that the height of that can also adjust the SWR. So you could be off, and if you lower the counterpoise down a little bit, you can get it better, or if you raise it up higher, it depends, you can get a little bit better. So it's kind of like when I tune it and I check it, I'm either moving, I start off with the counterpoise, and then I move the whip, because it always says to have it fully inverted, but sometimes if you lower, because it's on a tripod, and the tripod is not always at the same height, depending on how like it could be taller or smaller. So I just find it easier just to grab the thing and lower it a little bit, and then all of a sudden you're at like 1.2. I'm like, holy crap, that's like almost perfect. And that's when you can really pick up the lower signals and stuff. So
gotcha.
I will say, I think the only downside to a Rybakov is you have to have a tuner.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I tell you what, 10 meters this afternoon was banging. Wow. They're just, I just, about 10 o'clock this morning, I got up because it was a long 2 days of work, and I got up, sat down, turned the radio on, and I saw that Eric was on 10 FT8, and I just grins and giggles, threw on the radio and looked, and the whole thing was just swamped. I was like, wow, okay, so making contacts with Russia and every place else on FT8 this morning. It's unbelievably how wide 10 was this morning.
Nice.
Yeah. And I mean, so Todd makes a good point about like right now 10 meters is open and he starts his POTA activations on 10. I do the same thing, not only because, all my best DX contacts that I've ever had have been on 10. I think Elle Marie from She's on Frequency said the same thing, because I said to her, I said, now that you're general, don't just hop right off at 10, take advantage of it right now while it's open.
Oh, yeah.
And not only that, but to give technicians the chance to make some HF contacts on voice on 10. I think that's a really important, an important aspect as well.
Yeah. One of the contacts that I remember very vividly that I made about a year ago was, and if anyone knows him, he's got a small YouTube channel. He's in the chats a lot, but if you know Country James, if you don't, anyway, Country James, I got him on 10 meters, and I was at a brand new POTA park. I was at work on the road, traveling back to Rochester from Albany, and it was right around the time a year or two ago when POTA added a whole bunch of new parks. So there's all these Atnos, these all-time new ones. And I thought, well, let me hit up a couple on my way back home. And I get into the first one, and I can't remember if I started on 20 or 40 or whatever. And I got it activated. I'm thinking about, okay, now I got to pack up, take everything down, get to the next one. This is the challenge with the roving, right? You got to hang up the phone and just, go and just leave people hanging, right? And then I was just like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna stay here, and I'm just gonna. Maybe I did it on 40, and then I went to 20 and 10, or maybe I did it on 20, and then I did 40 and 10. But I'm like, you know what? It's a new park. I'm going to just try to give this to as many people as I can in the time I have. Who cares? There's no prizes for being the first. Let me just hand this out. And when I was on 10, I worked Country James, and we had a nice little QSO. He was studying for his general at the time, and he was just like, it just said how much it meant. Like, thanks for doing this on 10 meters so I could get a park. It's not often that I get a chance, being a tech to hunt POTA and stuff. And that, like, I still remember that QSO because I realized, like, nope, I made the right call. It's not about getting out there and getting all these new parks. Like, we don't get to do what we want with POTA or SOTA unless there's somebody on the other end. And so part of it is just making those parks, those contacts available for other people, and trying different bands or different modes and different antennas and stuff to try to make it happen. So
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
mean,
I
people
mean,
come back to you a lot too when you're out there doing an activation, and they're like, thanks for activating. And I always say, no, thank you for hunting, because we could not activate if it wasn't for the hunters, coming to hunt us. So I'm
Yeah.
grateful for them.
Yeah, there are
yeah,
a lot of hunters out there that I think that's all they do. Like, they are, because especially when I'm out traveling and I'm doing a lot of them, I get like the same people. Like, you start recognizing the call signs and stuff. Like, they're always out there. Like, they're almost like a guarantee, and it's kind of sweet because it's like, if you come like, he's out there, come on, let's go, and then you get them. So yeah, hunters are great, and they're as happy to work us as I think we are to get them. So
Most
it's good.
definitely.
But
I had so
I
much
find
fun.
that too on 10 meters when I do POTA on 10 meters. That's where I get a lot of I get a lot of Europe, and not even POTA hunters, just like guys that are out there looking for contacts or whatever, you know. So I think that's one of the reasons I like 10 meters, because when it's open, you get everything.
no.
You're getting local, you're getting DX, and you never know. It could be one contact could be DX, the next one could be, when I say local, like in the States, and you could pop down Chile. I always get Chile and Brazil. There must be 1,000 million hams down there, because I probably have Brazil like more than I have like any other country besides the United States, because I always get Brazil. I mean, do you guys have the same? Do you have the same thing, or?
On 10 meters?
Yeah.
Yeah, on 10 meters, I definitely get a lot down in South America. I get a lot of contacts like that side of the equator. I used to always think, like, it seems like it's always open down there. It seems like 10 meters always open, like,
Yeah.
around. And there's probably is something that has to do with proximity to the equator or this or that for different band conditions or whatever. But like, anytime I look at like the muff maps, it's like, it's banging down there, man. Why is it bad up here?
It's that tropical jungle, man.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
Navigation.
I got, I think, 4 stations from Puerto Rico on Thursday there. And Todd, actually, you mentioned getting local stations. You want to talk about local? I think we got 4 people from inside New Hampshire from, Robert Frost Farm on 10 meters.
right.
Which was funny, so we're getting inside New Hampshire on 10 meters, as well
Right.
as we're getting, Finland on 10 meters. It was
Right, like your next
crazy.
contact, you're talking local, like you could be on you could probably even be on like on a repeater, versus now you're like all the way over, like you said, Finland. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, I've also done 10 meters, when I'm home and I'm messing around, and I'll turn on the radio and I'll look at the waterfall, and there'll be like nothing, right? It's just like flat. And I'll just start calling out. You'd be surprised. Like, there's people out there that are just waiting for that 10 meter, someone to be on it. And I've actually like been like gotten into like a not like a real pile, but like a constant flow when no one's on the band, except it looks like just me, and people are listening and trying. I don't know if they've got like radios that they just hang on 10 meters, but even though it says sometimes it's not open, you can get some, but it's more sporadic. So I think when we say the band's open, like, it means everyone is. You're communicating with everyone. I think when it's like dead, there's still people out there, and you might be able to reach them, but it's not going to be as like you said, local, far away, north, south, east, west. I think the farthest I've gotten is like eastern, or is it, yeah, eastern Russia, like the Asia
Okay.
part of Russia. That was the farthest I've gotten on 10 meters during POTA.
Since we're talking about 10 meters, there's a question for the group. Anyone do a lot on 12 meters or not? Just because I imagine that they're going to be similar propagation characteristics when it comes to the openings or not between 10 and 12. I know it's a work band. There's not a lot of band space, and it's not a harmonic that you get naturally like you do with 10, 15, 20, 40 and stuff. So just curious. Oh, my mic. Just curious what everyone.
Shaq's falling apart.
Yeah.
The live stream.
All right, talk amongst yourselves. 12 meters, go.
I switched from 10 to 12 just for grins and giggles. When 10 meters started dying out, when I milked it enough with FT8, I switched over to 12, and literally there was activity, but it wasn't high. I don't know why people avoid 12. I mean, it's not very far from 10 propagation wise, but really, I mean, there should definitely be more people on 12, definitely.
Yeah, when I was in California, I think it was in March, and Eric got like 100 contacts at the rail trail, and I sat at a freaking beach for like almost 3 hours and got like 12 contacts. But I worked one guy, and I think what the hell was he in? Like, I think he was in Oregon or something. For some reason, we were just connected. Like, it was like he was the only guy I could get 5'9", and I said, "Hey, you want to just go through the you want to just go through all the bands and see how many we can get?" And we got like 10, 12, 15, 20, and the only one I can't do 80, and I didn't get him on 40, but 20 down. I mean, I was like, wow, that's pretty awesome. But he was like literally the only guy that I could reach, and here I am on the beach, and I text Eric because I see he comes up on the thing, and he's working the rail trail, and he's like, "Dude," he goes, "the bands are awesome. I got like over 100." I'm like, shit. I'm like, what is there? Like the solar for just like nailed the West Coast because there's it's just noise and none of the bands worked. But like I said, when I do POTA, sometimes like if I get like a guy like that who is just good and he's just looking to make contacts, I'm like, all right, let's screw around and work each band and see how many we can get.
Exactly. Just bounce around.
I like so usually if tens open, then you know that 12, 15, and 17 are usually going to be fairly good too. And so I like to just progress through them. So I'll start on 10, then I'll go to 12. If I don't get a lot or I get all that I can get, then move to 15. I feel like I think especially 12 and 15 are really popular in at least Western Europe. And so I get a lot of really great DX on those bands into Western Europe.
Yeah.
Question for you, Paul. When you move up and down the bands like that, antenna wise, are you generally using like a 40 meter end fed, and then you're just tuning up on 12 and 17? And
not tuning at all.
Okay, it's close enough.
Yeah. So like, I mean, Thursday when Shannon and I were out, we started on 10.
Yeah.
Then we went to 12, and now no tuner. It's just direct to the 891. I think the SWR was just under 2-1 on 12. And then when we went to 15, it was just barely over 1.5. So yeah, I mean it just works, and I love that I can change bands and not have to fuss with the antenna.
That's one of the things I was thinking about while we were talking. And I know like Shannon seemed to have some feelings at the camp out about random wires versus resonant antennas, and a nice thing about about some of the end feds is you can work multiple bands without the need for a tuner. So I use the 705 probably more than any other radio, and I have the tuner for it, but I don't carry it with me unless I need it. And it's nice to be able to, especially in the winters, not have to get out of the car to adjust a whip. I use a 17-foot whip probably more than any other antenna. And I know how many sections by heart to pull out or to collapse, to jump bands. So it's not that difficult, but it's just, it takes a minute or two and you got to get out of the car. And if it's snowing and it's cold, it's like, or whatever, it's just, you don't want to fuss with it. But to be able to quickly jump on a end fed, and I'd just say that's kind of like one of the pros for the horizontal antennas is with the horizontal antennas, you can easily have a resonant multi-band antenna that you can deploy, whether it's an inverted V, a sloper, flat top, however, and whether you're QRP or not, no tuner required to hop between multiple bands. So that's a nice pro. You don't get that easily from verticals without having to introduce 4-to-1s, 9-to-1s, and a tuner. So
I'm going to throw a shout out to Reliance Antennas, who makes some of the best end-fed half-wave antennas out there. The best, the quietest, the smoothest, and less tunable needs. Reliance Antennas.
I know.
So
Where's
I
Matt?
would
Where's
just
Matt
like
tonight?
to
He should be here.
state that yes, so the antenna that Paul and I were using was a Reliance antenna, and I have to say that I looked at them online, and I may actually be slightly tempted to get one. But the only bad thing about wire antennas, okay, is that that means now you either need a tree to throw the wire into.
No,
And I have tried to throw wires in trees. It is not pretty when I do that, okay? Or you need like a drive over mast holder and you need a mast. You need some way to get that wire up in the air, right? So now you're trying to
bungee cords and a
figure
picnic
that out.
table. Bungee
So
cords and a picnic table.
yes, I mean that's fine if you are going out and activating like outside your car or if you're somewhere that there is picnic tables, but I mean not every park has that. Or, maybe the weather is bad and you don't want to go sit outside and do that. Um what else was I going to say? So, that's why I do, I use the 17-foot whip on top of my car quite frequently. That was one of my only antennas. But another antenna that I really like to use is these Hustler resonator coils. And I have this like triple mast mount that works with those antennas. It has a 3/8 screw mount, so it screws right into the triple mag mount. And I have literally every coil that Hustler makes. So I have like a 75-meter coil all the way down to, I think, a 6-meter coil. Usually what I do on POTA is I'll put the 10, the 15, and the 20 on the mast. And my G90 would actually tune 12 and 17 in that configuration. Now, people have told me that those antennas are like so inefficient that it's like my 20-watt G90 is probably putting out like 5 watts ERP on those antennas. But hey, I made tons and tons of contacts. I mean, as long as the other person can hear you, it doesn't matter how much power you're putting out. And as long as you can hear that other person, a contact is a contact, right?
Yep. Michael, you're not.
Yeah,
You're not making noise.
You're muted or something.
You understood that word, though, didn't you?
Yeah.
So, Shannon, in the comments, somebody said, or who was it? God, I just lost it. Activators run the wire 3 feet off the ground. If you have a tripod and you have a picnic table, you have a chair with you. You have a simple tripod. You can run that wire to the tripod. It doesn't. Granted, it doesn't have to be in a tree, but if you tie it off with a little length of some paracord to a tripod, make it tight. Sit down in your chair. Tie the fed end to your chair and rock. You don't need a tree.
I think it depends too on the bands. I've done I have my quick and dirty setups in the backyard from the deck to the fence, the 4 feet high and rising. I've done it with 30, 40, and 60 meters. And it works great, but that's that's invis. It's I'm just trying to make regional contacts and stuff. But yeah, like I've done that so many times with the Reliance, 30, 40, and 60 meters, just 4 feet or so off the ground, and it works fine. For those, I've made contacts on 20 that way, but I got a feeling that, you know, like the takeoff angles and the loss with it being that low to the ground isn't ideal. But I've still made it work for 20 that way.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've definitely I've run into situations where I didn't have a place to put a wire, but I got the POTA 20 mast, and so I'll gear tie that to my truck or to wherever I can gear tie it, and just run the wire up that way in an inverted V or a sloper, and it works. You know, I mean, it's always going to be some type of compromise. So.
Compromise with antennas? What are you talking about?
I did see Bob wanted to know the difference from being in New Hampshire to being in Illinois. The craziest part of it was I'm so used to getting Europe all the time, right? Being in the middle of the country, that just doesn't happen. Like,
we're spoiled.
I was like, I don't understand why I can't, you know, hit this German station.
Honestly,
so,
I say that all the time. It's like Europe is hardly DX for us here. Like in the Northeast, it's really like local stations.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, it was like when I was working those overnight shifts, and I was just using my I was hitting Australia on 20 meters, you know, at 2 a.m, like 5'9", 5'8". It was like every night. I was like, oh, freaking Australia again.
That's how it was when I lived in
Australia
Arizona.
again.
New Zealand again. And it was like, you know, what the, you know, and now, like, I'd die for one of those for now. But yeah, I mean, once you start, I mean, you're right, Shannon. I mean, Europe is like, it's not a big, I mean, the first time I hit Europe, I was like, holy shit, this is awesome. And now it's like, yeah. You know, it's kind of like also like for me, at least at home too, like Brazil and South America. I mean, it's cool to get them, but you can get them all day long. I mean, I'll scan through, you know, the bands and just listen. And those guys down in South America are always on. And I think it's just the way my wires are set up. But
I actually get more excited when I get California.
Yeah,
versus
I do too.
Europe. And there's a couple hunters and activators in Europe. You know the call signs, you recognize the voices, you work them quite a few times and stuff. And it's always nice to get DX. And you know, depending on the time and the antenna and the power that I'm running, mileage varies. But California, which I get, but to me that stands out more. California and obviously Alaska or Hawaii is always going to stand out, but California stands out realistically more than
Well,
Europe,
you know, you
than
get
France or Spain.
And when you're
Because
doing POTA, you're getting coast to coast. Like, I think that's an awesome contact. You know, East Coast, West Coast. Let's go.
Yeah, I don't know the difference in mileage, you know, the distances off the top of my head or anything, but it just personally, like when I get California and I see a 6 call or something like that, I'm like, ooh, this is cool.
Now I'll tell you this: if you're down in like Florida, it's easier to get California than it is up here, and I don't know why, but I always get when I'm down in Florida and I'm always getting California. Like, it's not a big deal. It's harder sometimes to get New Hampshire if the bands are bad. Now I cheat. So like if I like a lot of guys that come like I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be down in Arkansas. Oh, I need to get Arkansas. I said, well, I'll get on a band that'll work. So I get on like whatever. Like say I try 20 meters. I turn on my my home radio. Listen to myself on the phone, CQ, you know, and if I can't hear myself, nope, that band sucks. We'll go to 10. We'll try 12, whatever.
Nice.
And then I posted. I said, all right, I can hear myself in, you know, I'm down here in Arkansas and I can hear you in New Hampshire. So work me.
You know what's interesting is K6EGG Eric. He'll get on, and I'll see his live stream before I go to bed. It's like 10 o'clock our time here on the East Coast, and I'm like, what the heck? I'll get on there. And I'll throw the radio on and he'll be calling CQ and I'll answer him back and he's like, "Oh my God, California to Massachusetts," and it just blows his mind. I'm like,
Yep.
"Dude, you, I can hear you, but or you can hear me, but I can't hear you. You need a better antenna." Because literally 5'9" right into his radio, and he's like, "Oh my God," and I'm like, "I can't hear you, dude. What is wrong with your antenna?"
Well, I'm gonna use that as a segue because we set this up as verticals versus horizontals, but there's something that's missing, and there's something that I've heard that I've never used, but that's really good on receive. That's exceptional on receive, and that's loop antennas, whether it's loop on the ground or a delta loop. And so I'd like to just kind of throw it out to the group there, like delta loops. We can talk about mag loops next. That's a different, but the delta loops. What do you guys think? Have you guys used any of those, or not? What's your experience with delta loops?
I've got the property. I just never put one up yet.
No.
Yeah, I never. I heard the receive is good. I kind of.
That's what I've heard too.
You know, some of the things that I get, like I have trouble. It irritates me. Is like when I can hear a station really well, like 5'9", and then I try to make the contact, and they're literally not hearing me because they're calling, CQ, and there's no one there, but I can hear them, like 5'9", and then there's no one else calling them back, and they're not hearing me at all, and I wonder, like, I wonder if there's stations out there, like if you had like a loop antenna, you could do it like at a park, right? And you had that on the receive on a second radio, to be able to hear it and use both to be able to make that contact. To, like if they can't hear you, but you can hear them, you know what I mean? Like how you do the satellite stuff. You're receiving and doing. There's a lot of stations out there that I can, when I do POTA, that I can hear super well, but they can't hear me. So imagine you had that on your radio and you had that a better receive antenna or a radio that was a better receive, especially on POTA, because I'm sure there's people that are calling me that can hear me, but I can't hear them. So, having a better receive, because I don't think the 891 is the best receiving radio.
And I don't think for portable operations, when we talk about receive stuff too, just being an ICOM fanboy with the new Mark II coming out, having the receive port, I think that's going to be interesting because you might have, an entry level HF receiver that has that readily available, that receive antenna, and then maybe you have newer hams experimenting with things like the loops on the ground or other things to try to improve receive from home. Obviously, like I'm not going to set up. I have set up multiple antennas for an activation and switch between, but it's usually because of polarization and it's VHF stuff where it makes a huge difference. But
well, what if
for
you did
HF, like I think that would be interesting. Yeah, I think that's gonna be interesting what comes with the new Mark II, just because of having that built-in receive port and as well as the regular antenna.
Like, I wonder what it'd be like on a field day. Like a lot of people can do field days in big open fields or whatever, and if you set up one of these loop antennas as you receive, it might make a difference.
Yeah. Yeah. When I did the 6 meter FM POTA back in May, and we set up we had the 6 meter NFED or the J pole for 6 meters vertical, and then the horizontal 6 meter dipole. So 2 half wave antennas, vertical, horizontal. And we just would, you'd flick the switch and you would see it was like anywhere from like 4 to 6 S units in signal difference, depending on how people were polarized, because it was all local line of sight. We didn't catch an opening when we were out. And it was just like, wow, what a difference this makes, It was crazy to see.
Yeah, I haven't tried a loop antenna myself, really, but what was it? A couple weeks ago, Cape Ann Amateur Radio Association, one of my in-person clubs, we are doing this event at Hammond Castle in Gloucester. I don't know if I talked about that before. I think I did talk about it a little bit in the Discord. but someone set up like a portable Delta loop, which was really cool. I wish I could have gotten a chance to get on there and make some contacts. I was on the it was like a 80-meter end fed half wave, I think, or a 40-meter end fed half wave that was not high enough off the ground, so it was not performing
Okay.
most efficiently.
Yeah, I got 4-to-1s, both 4-to-1 Balun and Ununs, the LDG ones, and I think you got to use the Balun, the balanced one for a Delta loop. I got to give it a shot sometime. It's been on the to do list. Rob N1UG, who's been on the happy hour a handful of times, he did a video not too long ago, maybe a couple of them on a 40-meter Delta loop for portable ops. That was pretty good. I can see the challenge in setting something like that up, though. So it's going to have to be a POTA where, or an activation where I'm going to be out for a while. Like, and it's not something. It's like a buddy hex. You're not going to set it up if you're going to play radio for like 60 minutes or less, because you're going to spend more time doing setup and takedown than you're going to do operating. But yeah.
And I mean, that's what it's all about too. When we talked about in the very beginning, saying it depends. Like, what the only bad antenna is the antenna that you don't put up, right? So depending on your situation, how much space you have, how much time you have, that's all going to factor into what you use for an antenna.
Totally.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I do like my POTAs are, like Paul will go out for hours, right? Like you average, you said like what, 3 to 4 hours? Like I average like maybe 1.5 hours. Like that's my typical POTA time, because normally when I'm doing POTA, I'm in between something. Like one time I was driving, had a meeting up in northern New Hampshire, and then I had a meeting down in western New Hampshire. So I went to Vermont on the long way around, to get a Vermont station or to work out of, activate a park in Vermont. But like I said, that's like, you don't have that much time. So that's like, for me, I like using the antenna that I'm most familiar with, especially when I don't have a lot of time, because you just know. Like the first time I used the buddy pole, it was a disaster. I was like, this thing sucks. It doesn't work.
Because it does suck.
It does not. It's done fine for me. So,
damn it, I did it again. It does suck. That's why I gave mine to Eric.
then who'd Eric give it to? He
Eric
gave his
hasn't
away
given it to
too.
anybody yet.
Am I the only one that likes that antenna? I think so.
Yeah. I think
Wait,
it's in the
so-
entire nation.
Michael, you got rid of yours to Eric?
Well, yes. I'll tell you about the plans for it this weekend. But
Oh,
yeah,
you recently
Eric has
did.
it.
Because I also got rid of mine to Eric.
Okay.
You gave it to Eric, or you?
I sold it to him. Yeah.
Yeah. What he got rid of it though.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
gave it to,
I think.
Who did he give it to? Tim?
No, I think he gave it to Parker.
Oh, he did. Yeah.
Well, we have plans for the one I gave him. I was going to sell it to him for $200, but it is the deluxe, so that's like almost $400. I said, here, $200. And then we were chatting this afternoon, and he brought somebody up, and I said, you know what, that's a really good idea. So what we're going to do is we're going to do something with that this weekend.
Cool.
Nice.
Only if this person passes their license test this weekend. I'm going to put that caveat on it.
Did they sign up for the testing session at Nearfest?
I think so.
Okay.
Dude, it was so hard. It was just mind numbing trying to set that stupid thing up. And once I get it set up, it was like, yeah, no, I'm not going to work right. Your SWR sucks. And I just said, you know what, screw it. I packed it back up in the bag, and it's been sitting in my garage ever since. Uh-oh, there's trouble.
Well, I'll be.
Oh boy.
Holy crap.
All right. Well, Izzo's getting started. I'll just say, when one of my buddies has the buddy pole, or Buddy Stick Pro. Sorry, the vertical one that Todd has, and that packs up really nice for travel, and that's why he bought it. Um, he travels a lot for work, but when he had an issue with some coax, the coax that came with it busted, and I fixed it. He let me, and so he gave it to me. He's like, if you fix it, play with it, whatever. And we did, and we ended up going to do a POTA after I fixed things, and I was skeptical about that. I gotta say, just with having the elevated counterpoise, how hard is this going to be to set up? And it totally, I was blown away. I was like, really, this is pretty easy to set up, and we had good luck with it. And so I definitely don't hate on that antenna, and it got me thinking. I had such a good experience with it. I took one of the extra 17-foot whips I had and set it up on my deck in one of the corners and made and marked off a counterpoise, an elevated one that I could just run out, and depending if I was on 20 or 10 or whatever, set up the equivalent of a budget Buddy Stick Pro, from the deck last summer. That worked out good. That was fun. So Izzo,
Where'd he go?
Can you hear
Oh,
me?
he was there. He
we
was
can
there
hear
twice
you.
for a
We
second.
can't see you now, but we hear
It
you.
won't let me.
Where
I'm
did you
pushing the
go?
button, and it won't let me turn my
Oh
camera
God!
on.
This is like giving the old folks home. Here we
Quiet.
There
I
it is.
heard that.
Oh, there he is. Holy shit,
Nope.
it worked. Hey, Dad, this is how you use a remote control, and this is how you program your VCR.
Hey, Dad, I just came home, and the VCR is flashing 1200. What's up with that?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Who on the stream had to program the VCR for their parents?
That means we'll all go to heaven.
Yes. Yes. Welcome aboard, Izzo.
Well,
What's going on,
I
brother?
had to go. My son's home from college for a day or so.
I'm
I
sorry.
just ran inside, had dinner, ran back out here because my ears were ringing. You guys were talking antennas, and you know how I feel.
Yeah.
I love antennas. That's like,
He's got his earbud in at dinner listening to the stream.
Well,
Look,
being honest,
yeah,
Izzo,
he
what's
did.
your go-to
He's
when you're
laughing.
doing POTA? When you're doing
Oh.
POTA, Izzo, what are you using more often than not? Are you using like a vertical, like a ham stick and 17-foot whip, or are you running like an end-fed half wave as like a sloper or a V, or what are you doing? What's your go-to more often than not?
it has changed so many times. I don't want to sound like I'm indecisive,
Yeah.
but it has changed so much. So this is what I've done. When I first started out in POTA 6, 7 years ago, and just playing field ops, we'll call it. It was the Eagle One antenna.
Okay.
Married that into the ICOM 7300. Played everything from 10 meters to 60 meters and had fun. Then, just like every other ham, you acquire an antenna here, you acquire an antenna there, you get this. Now I got to get a duffel bag for all my stuff. So follow me. I picked up a Nelson end-fed half-wave. I picked up ham radio, coffee and ham radios antennas. Reliance. Now I also have a spool. I got some MFJ whips that, and then all of a sudden the ATAS comes in. So including and I have this great inverted V. I remember in our chat in our private, I don't know if it was our private chat or just our channel.
Yeah.
I said, well, what about the inverted V?
Yep. We started off with that. Yeah.
You did okay, because I have found that inverted V with a push-up mast, I don't know, 25, 30 feet in the air, which is not high.
Hmm.
It is incredible. It is incredible on 20 meters. It is incredible on 40. Even when band conditions are horrible, it's still incredible. It's something about the antenna. I'm not a scientist. I'm not an engineer to understand this. But I don't understand, and that's no disrespect to all the other antennas. but something to do with an inverted V. Now, I have taken the Reliance antenna. I have taken the spool. I have taken a coffee and hammer. I've taken all these other wire antennas that I normally run as an end-fed halfway sloper. So I
Yeah.
take 65, 66 feet of wire, and I make it an inverted V. And it does even better than as a end-fed half-wave sloper design. And I don't know why.
I think part of it is, my guess is it's going to be the average height above ground, that especially at the points in the antenna where you're going to have the most current and radiation, you're going to have a higher average height above ground if it's in a V versus the sloping. I that's my
Yeah.
guess.
So when you ask me what's my go-to,
Yeah.
2 hours before I go out, I look at band conditions, which
Okay.
we know is a sample from what? An averaging of 6 hours before with some predictability in there. You take, it's still a whole freaking witchy poo kind of a thing of,
Which
you know, eh, I don't know what else to call it, man.
yeah.
It's just because there have been some days when everyone is saying how horrible the band, solar winds are up to 600, you know, and there's an S1 to S3 of noise. Yeah, I go to a park and I'm making contacts. Yes, I'm not doing 100, I'm not doing 200 contacts, but I'm making respectfully anywhere from 30 to 40 to maybe 50, 60 contacts on the HF bands. I don't know what it is, guys. So I like having a multitude of antennas that what antenna haven't I played with lately? What's going on? Temperature, as you know, up here in the Northeast, like when we start getting into those doldrums of January and February, I'm not sitting on no tailgate. I'll be doing the ATOS.
Okay.
But we know what's going to happen in about 6 years from now when we go back flat. I'll bet you and that's no disrespect to ATOS and Yaesu. I'll bet you, or any vertical is going to be a tough antenna to operate here in the Northeast. When it's 10 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, yeah, between that 4 hour block, 6 hour block, because it starts getting dark at 5 o'clock,
Hmm.
and it's 30 degrees. You're not going to want to be on a tailgate. Listen, as much layers as I put on, my thermals and all my winter weather gear, I'm still not going to want to be sitting outside following CQ powder. I'll be inside the truck where it's nice and warm.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you're
So,
going to have to be on 40, 80.
yes, yeah, yeah, Shannon's right, and it's very weird. Um, I think that's why when you listen to everyone on YouTube talk about their POTA experiences, you got to look at where were they. Are they in the southeast or the southwest where, we're in January? It gets down to what? Maybe 48 in the morning, but by afternoon it's 70 degrees up here. And listen, and where I am in Connecticut is still a hell of a lot warmer than what you guys further north of me, right?
Right.
Todd's laughing. Todd knows. I could be 38 degrees here on the Connecticut shoreline, and Todd is sporting, 27, 28, or whatever, 25. Shannon's getting that cold gale wind coming in from the Atlantic Ocean, making things even cold. What did I say? What is going on?
No,
What sound are you
Grouch
guys
or
making?
someone made a fart noise. Their effects or whatever.
It's a 12-year-old in a 51-year-old body.
Yeah. And I
Mike,
think all of
you
us are
even know
12-year
too.
olds.
Mike, you even know too because you got the Great Lakes, right? You're affected by the Great Lakes weather, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, like, I mean, if you're talking about like as far as propagation, then that's more of
I
a
was talking
VHF,
more
No,
about
I'm talking
UHF.
more
about
about
the
the weather.
environment in which you're going to
Oh,
operate, which is
but
going to
then you're talking
alter
about
your
snow and
choices
stuff.
for
Yeah,
what you want.
yeah, yeah. I always joke that when I get into the winter, I'm like, okay, it's multi-band antenna season because I don't want to get out of the car.
Yeah.
I use I use a 17-foot whip twice this week, and it's one of my go-to antennas. right on the mag mount, quick and dirty. Whether I'm doing 17 or 20 or 40, because I got a coil. But when I get into the winter, if I'm going out and I feel like I might want to jump between bands, then I'll be putting up, whether it's end feds. This is what got me interested and gravitated towards the off center fed dipoles, because I'll put the drive on mast right over, underneath the front tire, and I'll just have 30 feet or whatever of coax running right down the mast into the car. And then I got something, whether I have an 80 meter off center fed that'll do 80 through 6, and I got a 40 meter one too, which I use more often because I'm limited where I can set up the 80 meter because it's so long. But then you put one of those up, and like I was saying before, with the average height above ground, you get that up in a nice like inverted V. You can work all over, and you got a fantastic antenna with the off center feds. I don't think they get enough credit. And
Now, don't tell anybody.
That's my rant.
Don't tell anybody, all right? What I'm thinking of buying next is some type of utility trailer, maybe 8 to 10 feet long, fully enclosed. I don't care if it doesn't have windows. I'm gonna pop 2 or 3 windows into it. Throw the Mr. Buddy heater in there. Put a table in there. Start off really poor man way of doing it, and then as we get along, we'll build a desk that's permanently mounted in there. And I'm wondering if that's what I would want to do for the winter, especially for the winter, just to keep some elements off of me. While
Well, don't
still,
you have that fancy ass ice fishing tent?
that's a pain in the neck to go every. And the Connecticut state parks do not technically want you operating that. I have to keep a door open, which defeats the whole purpose.
What do you mean you have to
Yeah,
keep a
setup
door
is
open?
15 minutes. Setup is 15 minutes, but it's a pain in the neck.
What do you mean you have to keep a door open?
Yeah.
You cannot be okay. You if your tent is fully enclosed, it's considered camping. So not every POTA park in the state of Connecticut, the parks offer camping.
It's an ice hut, right?
You know what they tell me? This is not Wisconsin, and you're
Oh.
not on the lake.
Oh.
That's the response I've gotten. You're not on the lake. You're not in North Dakota. You're not in Idaho on the lake.
So
So
you gotta, if you're in the car, right? We got a lot of people in New Hampshire that sleep in cars. Does that mean you
Yeah.
gotta leave your door open when you're at the park?
no, they can see through the windshield. There's a view.
Oh, I got it.
And the last thing we want to do is argue with park rangers, right or wrong. I don't want to argue.
Yep.
That's why some parks I love going to many times, and others it's one and done. One and done. Just let me get my 10, 12, and see you later.
Well, when
Never say
Paul
that.
does winter field day, you got to show up in like shorts and a t-shirt, and just because it's so freaking hot in there. He's in there. I go in there. It's like, holy crap! It's like a sauna in here.
A sweat box, the old the old Indian sweat box, frankly. That's good for you, man.
I like
It
to be
opens your
comfortable.
pores.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's awesome. But like you come in to check in what he's doing, you're all bundled up because it's like 10 degrees outside. He's in there in like t-shirt, like sweating.
In about 3 weeks, where I'm sitting, the ice hut will be permanently mounted. Well, for temporarily / permanently mounted for 5, 6 months. And that's what I do. I run that Mr. Buddy heater at about. Actually, it's not all that gets all. It gets about 65, but it's insulated. And I do something with the flooring. And yeah, I'm sitting in shorts. I get it, Paul. I get it. I like that heat. I like that heat, man.
Yeah. I take the gym mat puzzle piece things, and
That's
I put
what I
that
bought.
down on the floor.
I've bought brand new ones.
Yep.
Oh yeah, yeah.
See that? But if I had that at the 24-hour POTA, I would have had floaties.
Now,
You had been
Mike, what you have, I like. But I think that's going to be too big because I was looking at all what you guys have. I think yes, what I like all of them have a purpose for me, but it's just too big for me right now.
Izzo, I've got a solution for you. Give me a second. Let me think of the camper. But there is a camper that is Australian made. It's basically like the same design that I have, Shannon, I think I shared that camper with you on the camping and overlanding there on our on N1JUR Discord, but it's air inflatable.
Mm-hmm.
Honest to God, it's the coolest thing in the world. You set up, you flip it open, and you push a button, and it's not like Matt's antenna, but it fills up with air, and it has arches, and it's Australian made. It is a huge thing down in Australia. Um,
Really interesting.
yeah, I'll look it
Show
up.
me a link. Yeah, send me a link. I would love to see it. And well, like I said, because let me tell you, back in the late '80s, or actually early '90s, when I was really getting involved with Aries down here locally, and I used to drive these Chevrolet Grumman step vans. You see a lot of them delivering potato chips. Sometimes the plumbers have them. They're really great. And I was trying to get one. The problem is, who's going to pay for the insurance? At the time, I didn't have the money. I didn't have any nickels to even put together to buy it. And they were getting rid of one, but it needed a lot of engine work. Now that I'm a lot older, I'm like, do I get one of those? But I'm like, something. It's only going to sit on the side of the house, and it may have some. It may have some. Actually, it'll have some great capability. Now, because I'm already like 5 steps ahead, where am I going to mount some antennas? I want to be able to put some type of bracket so I could drop a push-up mast, run that sloper if I want, or run that inverted V, that whatever. I'm like 5, 6 steps. I haven't even gotten this device yet, and I'm really thinking what. That's how my brain works. So I need to just calm my brain down. So maybe I'll see. Maybe yeah, right, Paul. Maybe I'll see something at Nearfest. Get some ideas. That's why I like going. This is why I like doing this stuff. You know what I mean?
I wish I could make it out there for it. I wish I could, but it's just
I thought you
we
were.
got
You're not
way too much.
making it. I thought you said you were.
I would love to, but no, I never said I was. Like we've been doing landscaping projects around the house, and
It's a long.
we're
It's a
far
long
behind.
drive for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and my back's killing me now after like spending 5 hours moving
Then
dirt
you should
to
take
the
a break
basement.
from landscaping jobs and come out.
Yeah,
Hey, Izzo, this is what I was talking about.
Okay, so in Connecticut, they're going to call that camping,
I understand, but you can open
right?
the door.
Right. But what do
It's
you
got
do
a
in the
window
winter?
on it. You
See, so
just.
that's an easy. So that's interesting. So it sounds like deployment's real easy.
It's set up just like mine with the kitchen that slides out, the whole 9 yards. And here, I'll put up another one
That's the
real quick.
inflatable one.
Yeah, that's the Opus. It's called an Opus camper. And this is what it looks like.
As long as your compressor doesn't die, you'll be fine, right?
Well, there is alternative to
You blow it
pumping
up
it up, but yeah,
by
there's a
mouth.
compressor there. This is what it looks like folded up. Well, it's not going to be like one of Matt's antennas. Here, show this picture. This is what it looks like folded up.
Interesting.
Wasn't that thing just on for sale somewhere on like Marketplace?
It is. It's on Marketplace right now, and I
At
think
in New
it's up in
Hampshire, right?
Yeah.
Did you buy it?
No, I'm
Oh.
so desperately wanting it though. There actually is a couple Opus campers. They're Australian made, and they are highly sought after in the U.S. This is what the inside looks like. I'll share that too.
You mean to tell me I have the potential on Saturday morning taking something home with me?
Oh, that's sweet.
Hey, I'll sell you
That's-
mine if you want, but it's a bigger pain in the ass to set up than most tents.
That's pretty.
Yeah, it's nice inside, and you can see the tubes on the side, the inflation, and there's what 1, 2, 3. You can see the main hoop tube, and then there's 2 tubes out there, and it's huge inside. absolutely.
And doesn't that seating area turn into like a? I saw another picture on that has like a bed.
And there's a table there, so
Yeah.
that would be great for POTA or just camping in general with radios or whatever.
I'm also thinking winter field day, man. That could be awesome for winter field day.
Yeah, and it has a toilet in it, Izzo. It's got a cassette toilet. That little spot in the
we have that category taken care of.
Are you just going in front of everyone?
No,
I'm not going to go in front of everyone. Shannon's right. I'm not going in front. We have that category taken care of. The question I have: what's the rating? Is it? Do they say it's water as is, water resistant, water repellent, waterproof? What do they rate it at?
That is a waterproof tent. You can go through a hurricane in that thing. I don't know if you'd want to, but
you may float away, but at least you'll be dry.
Yeah, pretty much.
How long does it take to pop up like that?
It takes like a minute and a half to 2 minutes. After you unfold it, it just fills.
Wow.
Yeah,
is the air compressor built into it?
Yeah, there's an air compressor built in. Yep, and you can use an external air compressor also. You can use a hand pump. If it fails? Yeah, you can use whatever you need to.
Wasn't it?
Man, I'm thinking 24-hour POTA next year. I mean, see the ideas are racing.
Was that the one I saw that was like $3,000 or something?
No.
How much was
it? Let me see what the price is. Right now, it's $17,000.
Oh yeah, so yeah.
I will. I'll have to wait for my retirement money then.
I will throw the link in our private chat, Izzo, so you can find it.
All right. I mean, that's again. I'm gonna have to just wait for my retirement money.
Retirement money. I like that.
Well, I mean, I have a little package coming, and my dream was always to go to Greece, go to England, maybe knock on Callum's door. Hey,
like,
go see
Izzo's at my door.
Izzo's at my door.
Ring camera. Get out! Leave now! Get out of here!
Hey, I'm gonna get one of his cardboard stand-ups. I told him I'm gonna come. I want a cardboard stand-up. But I would love to again. So if I gotta cancel, don't tell the wife. If I gotta cancel one of the trips and buy the camper,
what?
I mean, what's she gonna do? Get mad? I'll be like, okay, fine. I know where I'm gonna sleep tonight. Yeah.
I wouldn't do that. Nope.
No.
Not doing it. That might become your permanent home.
Right, exactly. Listen,
look at Paul.
Look at Paul. Hey, I learned this a long time ago. You don't get to be old by being a fool, right, Todd?
Right.
That's what it looks like fully set up. I got to go let the dogs in.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
That is.
Wow.
So you guys with campers like Paul, when something like that says 17K, do you start putting it into categories? What else can you get for between 15 and 18 or 20? You're in that bracket. It sounds like there's a lot of options in the camping world, correct? For that, if you're going to spend that kind of money or the money in that category, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I would say in the camping world, you could find a lot of really good deals, more in the like 12 to 18,000 range. If you wanted something new, then yeah, you're looking 20 to 30. But
see, like that.
Well,
that thing is more like that. You would want to get that if you were going to be like going cross country and going off road and going into the canyons and you know what I mean, like the overland stuff. Like that's like you're not going to take Paul's camper and go where those overland guys. That thing you're taking everywhere you go. Like if it's attached to your truck or your Jeep or whatever you're driving, I mean it's going everywhere. Paul's camper is going to the campground. That thing's like going places, off roading, and that's where I think why the value is. And why?
I mean, I could do BLM land. That's fine. The RV is only 30 feet. So basically, the rule with a lot of the state parks and the wildlife areas is nothing more than 30 feet. And so that's why I went. Okay. That's why I went with 30.
But
it's actually 29 foot 11.
Mhm.
Okay, so we'll call that a check mark. You met that requirement, but up in New Hampshire, do they limit you at what parks you can bring that into, or they don't care?
No, New Hampshire doesn't care.
Izzo, our motto: live free or
I
die.
know. Listen, and here's the thing. Okay, here's the dilemma. Okay, exactly, Paul. But here's now, do I say take that money and don't buy the camper, and that's a down payment on something up in New Hampshire? You
Well,
see where I'm going?
yeah, you'll
Now,
be
do you
you'll
guys want
be
to see me on a more regular basis in person, or do you want to see me in a stream?
well. Let's take a poll on that one, Shannon. Could you get a poll on that?
Press one in the chat.
Yeah.
Do we want to see Izzo in person or just on the stream? No, Izzo, I mean, honestly, if you're going to go from a financial standpoint, you're better off putting it on and buying a property because you're not going to make any. You're going to do nothing but lose money on the camper, but you're going to enjoy the experience of either. Like if you're buying a second home in New Hampshire, right? Is that what you're planning on doing, or you planning on buying a
I,
home or?
it's always been like, do we start off with property with a double wide, or do we just find something that's already pretty much turnkey?
Yeah.
It's,
Well, I
you
mean,
know,
you're gonna do better off in the long run owning the property, right? But I think
right.
for a camper, it's kind of like, think of it as a big boy toy, right? It's like, it's not a necessity, but it's really cool to have. And like if you hit the lottery and you won 20 grand and you already had the 20 grand to put down on your thing, I'd say, yeah, go for it. Have fun with it. You'll enjoy it.
Right.
But
That's a good point. That's an
right,
excellent point. Right. What do you do? All right. I know.
Yeah.
this guy too. I
Sorry, Shannon.
know. Geez, Shannon.
She's like, I love her stoic stone face.
Well, just Izzo,
Nothing
just think.
giggled, nothing. She just
She's like, I can hang with these assholes.
Izzo, just think about all the money
some
you're going to. Oh,
things I
sorry.
pretend not to see.
oh, is that how it works?
I was going to tell Izzo, just think about all the money though you're going to save switching to T-Mobile with the Grouches referral.
Oh,
I know,
Oh,
huh?
you got him too? They're gonna be like,
You,
who's this
Izzo
Grouch
was
guy?
asking in the chat if he can use
Oh.
Paul's code or referral.
Yeah. Oh.
I mean, I save 15% by switching to Geico. So
Oh, for God's sake.
Yeah.
I paid $300 for full coverage for 6 months on my AFJ, so I'm good.
There you go.
Traveling
nice.
man.
Aw.
Nice. Thank you.
Yes, there is a lot of property for sale in Rangeley because there's nothing there.
Nothing wrong with
Yeah,
that.
but I have always listened. I learned New Hampshire back in the, we'll say, about 25, about around 2000, when I started going up north. Saw some stuff I really liked. Saw some stuff. It's just not for me. Just not for me. But New Hampshire has always had this appeal to me. Um, you know, just so. Guess what? I'm moving in. It's not official. I can't say that. But no, really, it always has. It's always had a really nice appeal to me. The people, the area, you know. Plus now we can. Plus now I'm so active with field operations. You know, in Connecticut, it's just so damn expensive just to live here, man. That's the other thing. Oh, wait
Well,
a minute.
and
I may have to mute
has
myself.
the absolute worst drivers in the whole country.
Right.
I don't know.
No.
I
Oh,
think
yes.
Mass,
Maybe the
Mass
top
or New
10,
York.
top 5.
New York, but not upstate New York.
Well,
Rhode Island
so some in upstate New York.
Yeah.
I always joke like the Albany guys and
Yeah.
girls, like Albany drivers will try to pass you in the freaking car wash. Like, I mean, they Albany drive, and I spent a lot of time out in Albany, and that's like just over the Mass border. So, like
Listen.
maybe it does have something to do with Mass or
I was driving home on Friday, right? And this Mass hole is literally in the left lane, and it's like on the Everturn, it's like 3 lanes, and there's like a 4th lane for an exit. He's in the left lane. I'm in the right lane. This asshole doesn't put on a blinker, just goes at the, like, not even like a gradual turn, like, oh shit, I missed the exit. Let me just buzz in there and like cause like almost 3 cars to wreck. I'm like, holy shit. And then he drives off, and I'm like, oh, there he is, masshole, typical.
Todd, welcome to my life, dude. I've been dealing with this shit for 4 years, and I came from Tennessee, and it's like, God bless.
Okay, when they were talking, when the big thing around the country was like, let's build the wall, I was voting for let's put a wall on the southern New Hampshire border and keep those massholes out of here.
Wow.
Wow.
I
Sorry,
see how
Shannon.
it is.
Build
Well,
that
well, what
wall.
it is
Build that wall.
we need a toll booth like New York, right?
Yeah.
Like
there you
I think it was like $12 to cross the bridge in
Oh,
Newburgh.
yeah.
And so, yeah, it should be like $12 to cross the border into New Hampshire.
For non-residents only, for massholes only.
Wow.
Well, look at Shannon. Massachusetts was going to put a toll. So when we drove into Massachusetts, so anyone from New Hampshire would have to pay a toll to go in, and we were like, our governor was like, all right, you know what? You want your free fucking non-tax shopping? Then we'll double it. And they were like going back and forth about like, and like, I'm like, shit, it's gonna cost like $30 to get into Mass.
Jesus.
And again, it all went away, but still, I mean, being like, we live in southern New Hampshire, like basically on the Mass border, pretty close, and it's tough sometimes because like they're like, girl I work with, her brother-in-law, he's a farmer, and he farms, like, he does apples, you know, just the local stuff. And he says like these people from Massachusetts come up here with backpacks, like not like day packs, like full backpacks, and try to steal all their apples off their trees. And they have to,
What?
yeah, and they have to
Oh,
chase
come
them
on.
around. Because she asked me, she goes, you know, if you retire, she goes, you know, you could come and help us do security. I'm like, well, why do you need security? You're in a New Hampshire farm. And she's like, oh no. She goes, we got to chase these people from Massachusetts come with these backpacks and fill up their backpacks with apples. And
All right,
and
if
what
there's
they do
anybody
is
out there who could do a meme, I want a meme of Todd in the next 2 hours
listen,
being apple orchard security.
I'm like, what do you chase them on? They're like, you know, those John Deere side by sides. I'm like, you chase people from Massachusetts through the fields on side by sides? She says, oh yeah. She goes, it's a real problem. I was like, what? I was like, holy crap! You like, who would have thought, right? Like stealing apples is a thing. But I guess what they do is they take them and then they bring them to their farm stands or whatever they have. Like it's like other farmers that are doing it. So like it's Massachusetts farmers that want to sell more apples. I guess I don't know.
Those New Hampshire apples, man.
I tell you, if I had a farm and somebody was stealing from me, they're liable to get shot.
Yep.
I was just
That's why
about
they
to
come
joke
up here,
that, you
'cause-
know, like deers be eating apples off of trees, and we all know what happens to them.
See you in the cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's my wife's from Mass, Shannon. She's from Somerville.
Slummerville, huh?
Yeah. So I get a lot of it, and I turned her into a country girl.
Well, you know, I'm from Lynn. Well, I'm not from Lynn. Okay, I grew up mostly in Lynnfield, but I live in Lynn now. Lynn, city of sin. Never come out the way it went in. Okay, I've heard it 1,000 times.
That's a hell of a poem. Look at her rant.
You guys never heard that?
Nope.
No, I've
Come
never heard
on.
of that.
Oh,
Wow.
I've heard that. Yeah.
Wow. But
Weren't they going to change the name?
to Ocean Park.
Yeah, they were. I remember that they were going to
And
change
then,
the name.
you know, and then people came up with Ocean Park. Ocean Park never go out after dark.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's awesome.
But
Can you come up with one for Rochester for me?
Well, hey,
I can't take credit. I didn't come up with these
Hey.
things.
There was once a man from Rochester. No, I can't go there with that.
hey, Mike, we have a Rochester, New Hampshire, and they just call it Rotten Chester. It's so
There
bad.
you go.
It's a pretty rough town for New Hampshire, at least.
Mike, you got your snowblower tuned up yet?
Not yet.
It's
I usually
coming.
don't do that till
It's coming, dude. I'm telling you.
the end of October, beginning of November. But yeah.
Now you get the lake effect snows, right?
The last like couple years, it has been eerily mild, like scary mild. It's like everyone around here is like, it
So
was
you're
not
due.
like this when we were growing up.
You're due
Right.
for the big one.
Buffalo has gotten dumped on the last couple of years, and Buffalo's about an hour west of me.
Yeah.
West, it's that way, right? And when Buffalo's gotten hit, they get like everything at once. I feel bad,
Oh,
but they know how to deal with it. Like it sucks for like a day or so, but the communities up here, we know how to get rid of snow and everything. So when they get a couple feet in a weekend or a day or two, like they get rid of it, they get on with life and stuff. But it's all been going over there, and it kind of has stopped like in half hour west of Rochester. Like we haven't gotten hit bad, so I'm sure we're gonna pay for it. But but
Well,
it happens. It is
like
what
even
it is.
here, like we've had like probably the last 5 years have been pretty mild and
Yeah.
not a lot of storms. So like we're due. Like I remember my kids were like when my son was first born. I don't even know if he was born. Like I got pictures of like the snow. Like I had to dig my mailbox out. Like that was the last heavy winter.
Same
And
here.
now it's like we'll get like 4 inches of snow. They're calling off school. I'm like, what happened? Like do we turn into like the South? Like it's only 4 inches.
Todd, I have stopped watching local media. I'm sick and tired of them jump up and down for 3 inches for it. That's
Oh, it's
absolutely.
stupid.
Tell me when it's 8, 10, 12 with drifts to
Like
15 to 20.
I mean,
That's something, yeah, but
I have-
just little stuff, it's
I
ridiculous.
have pictures from when I was in college where I lived on this like first floor apartment and I couldn't get out the front door because the snowdrift was so high. And then I go into like the living room and we had a slider and I open the curtains and all I see is white all the way to the top. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, I can't get out of here. Like digging like a little path. I get
Your
out there.
igloo.
The
That's your
cars are
igloo.
covered. Like there's just bumps in the parking lot. I'm like, oh crap. But like back then in the early 90s, like it was snowing up in Plymouth, New Hampshire. It was snowing probably a foot a night for a week straight. Like we literally had we had mounds of snow in the middle of campus with holes through it. Like you walk through them. It was crazy. There was so much snow they closed 93 down, and I actually had a snowmobile. I rode my snowmobile down 93 from exit 25 to 24.
Nice.
But yeah, it was those were some tough winters. Like I came up from New Jersey, so I mean we never got like that much snow, and I was like, what the hell? You couldn't see around the corners. Like Mike, you've probably dealt with that. Like when you get to a stop sign and the snow's so high you can't see left or right.
That's crazy. I remember growing up in the late 70s. The best winters that I remember till now were back in the late 70s, 78, 79, 80. I grew up in upstate New York in a little place called Mariahville, New York, in Rotterdam, and it's just outside of Schenectady. And I remember the snowbanks in our driveway. The guy would come and plow our driveway. It was 250 feet long. It was a shale driveway. And he would put that snow 7, 8 feet on both sides of the driveway. I had snow forts, and it was amazing. We used to play on the lake.
Well, that was the blizzard, Mike. That was the blizzard of
Yeah.
'78, I bet. Yes,
Yeah.
because I was a paper boy. They shut down the roads, and we had one cop. I lived in a very, very small. I grew up in a very, very small town, and he's barely. He had the chains on the car and everything. He's like, "What are you doing out here?" I said, "People need their newspaper. Their 4 o'clock newspaper. If they don't get that thing by 5 o'clock, they're going to lose their money." Because back then, people needed their newspaper and their 6 o'clock news. You disrupt that, they're going to lose their shit, right?
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, so what are you going to do? Chase me? You can't. He was like so far away. He rolled down his window. I'm like, dude, just leave me alone. And he just threw his hands in the air. He probably said crazy Izzo. Go ahead. I don't care because guess what? That next week when I was collecting for that newspaper, I got some good tips. I got some really nice tips from my customers who
Nice hands,
understood.
Izzo. I saw that.
Yeah,
Boom.
that was pretty sweet.
Yeah,
Like it never
that
even
thing popped
happened.
right out. That said,
Izzo
I'm
was
getting
a
the hell
first
away from
baseman.
Izzo. That earpod said, get the hell away from me, Izzo.
You're out.
You're out.
There you go, Izzo. Your wish is my command.
Snow. Ah, I love it. Love it. There you go, Paul. Love it.
Uh,
Get off my orchard.
Get off
hey,
my
Paul,
horse.
send that to me. I'm
Yeah,
gonna make a
for me,
resume for it and stick that on the as the cover.
there you go. For me, my snow thrower gets prepped. I don't know why. I always use October 15th. Change the oil. Although last year I only had to use it once, so the oil's still pumped. But it's just a thing. I got to do it, and then we just play the game here because I bought.
Well,
Now I'm predicting we're not going to get any because I got brand new boops. I got brand new bib. I got all this stuff on sale, and I know
Oh
what's
no,
going to happen.
you're getting
I
killed.
jinxed everybody.
You
I
live
jinxed
down near the
everybody.
coast, though, don't you? Is
One of two things happens. It's either going to come in hard or it's just going to be a rain. It all depends. Those nor'eathers
yeah,
that pump in that water in that cold weather, that's how we get dumped with the snow. You guys get it too. You guys
yeah,
get it too. Shannon's going to get it. It follows that whole Cape Cod, and then it goes up, and then it hits, that sliver of New Hampshire, and then going into Maine. But if it doesn't do that, if it comes across where like MAK is and
Yeah.
stays north of Hartford, it follows that Springfield northerly track. You get the snow, I'm gonna get the rain.
It's all going
Well-
to change though once New Hampshire starts doing the tolls.
You think so?
Snow's like, we're not paying that. Our wall is gonna be so
Yeah.
high, it's gonna be above the clouds.
Yeah.
Well, who here remembers it was like back in 2015? It was like we were in this cycle where we would get a nor'easter every
and-
Wednesday
Yeah,
and it would like dump a foot of
Yeah.
snow on us. And that was the first time. See, I have like always worked in retail. I used to work at Sears, I worked at Sears Optical. It was the only time I ever saw the mall close because a state of emergency had been declared and they said like no travel on the roads. But the mall closed, but Sears didn't close because they were considered like an essential workplace because they sold shovels and rock salt and snow blowers and
Okay.
all that important stuff.
Yeah.
But I feel like we haven't seen a foot of snow fall in, eastern Massachusetts in, I don't know, years. Seven,
And
8 years at least.
some of Shannon, so you know what happens, because you know how the generations change. If they haven't gone through it, they don't know how to be hardy. I call it being hardy. Like me, I know all my truck stops. I know my places that the certain diners that are open no matter what. Everyone starts getting soft to that. Where me, I'm like, hey, I got it all up here. I'm ready, man. I'm ready. I'm just hoping that those places will stay open, especially the truck stops. To me, the trucks, and they usually do. The truck stops stay open no matter what because they know even if the trucks have to park, even if the roads get closed for 12 to 24 hours, but they know they got to keep the trucks moving. They know that. So
well,
obviously the priority is the highways, and so to me, you need anything, the truck stop has it all. And our truck stops down here are great. The food is
we don't
incredible.
have truck stops.
what we're missing in New England are Waffle House.
Yeah,
Yes,
Yes.
Because Waffle House,
yes.
like especially Florida or the hurricane prone, they're the only places that stays open. If Waffle House closes, you know the shit's about to hit the fan.
Yeah.
I got
We
to
need a
honestly say though,
Waffle
like,
Houses and Bucky's. I really, really wish they would, and maybe they have. Maybe they feel they just can't turn out. Maybe the dollar's not good enough for them. But I really, really wish they would do something like that.
I was just gonna say, like,
Bucky's overrated.
when Shannon was talking about the mall closing, like, as a diehard Gen Xer, like, when someone talks about the mall closing and shutting down, like, I'm like,
Oh yeah,
oh,
it's scary.
no,
The
they're
mall-
closing
Well,
the
no.
mall.
Yeah, but you know what happens. You know what happens later.
yeah.
What Shannon just described, we saw that. I'm sure you guys did too up north. Those parking lots are needed because they need to put the snow somewhere.
Yeah, they got to put it somewhere.
They got to
Yep.
put it somewhere. So because
Well,
you just
when I
can't
was in
dump
when I
it
was in
anymore into
college,
the ocean.
they had the National Guard come in with to remove the snow because it was so much that they had to put it on like a conveyor belt and those huge dump trucks that
Yeah.
you see in construction, fill those things up, drive it to the river, and then dump it, just to get so you could. I mean, there was no more place to put it. The snowblowers weren't blowing high enough. The plows couldn't plow. I mean, it just ran out, and they had like the National Guard and the DPW working, using all these machines to get the snow just in the river. And then that year, it melted, and then they had an ice jam, and the whole freaking town flooded. Like, I mean, it floods normally, but like
Right.
I mean, cars were like, it just had like one night it got warm, the ice came down, and it got cold again, froze up, and the water came back, and like all these people, there was like warnings, get your car, move it up to, and all these people left their cars, they were underwater. Gas station was underwater.
Well, didn't they use where does the Red Sox play? What field? What's that? Weren't
Fenway
they
Park.
dumping Fenway?
Fenway?
Weren't they dumping snow in Fenway? One year, I remember that made it. Like
Well,
because they couldn't touch the
couple-
Patriots because the Patriots had to play.
Yeah, we had snow, I forget how many years ago, but it was like really our last big thing in Manchester, New Hampshire, which is New Hampshire's largest city, which is like more like a big town. They didn't have enough, they had so much snow and they couldn't get like downtown. They were paying people like $900 if you had one of those sidewalk snow blowers where you can, you see them in the thing and they, they're in a little box. $900 like an hour to freaking plow because they had so much snow and like the city was shut down. I was like, holy shit! I go, how much do those suckers cost? I'll go buy one now.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, sometimes it can be a lot. But I bought when I moved in here to this house about 5 years ago, I bought a Polaris Ranger, which is a side by side, and I did my research and I put a plow on it. That thing is a beast. It plowed like 2 feet of snow, wet snow, and I mean, it worked, but it moved it, and the freaking plow guy plowed on another storm. The end of my drive. I live at the end of the road, like the road turns into my driveway, probably 4 feet high. I just ran that thing right over the top, just keep chalking away at it. The thing was awesome. I wish I bought it 20 years ago. I don't even use my snowblower anymore. Like I have to go to the front walkway. I just take the Ranger right through it, right over the grass. The thing just. Big wide open thing.
One swipe, and that's all you do. Yeah.
Yep. It's awesome.
My wife, when we first moved here, my wife bought me, not us, but bought me a Toro snow thrower, the second largest one that they have that has the tank tracks onto it. And I was like, what the hell am I going to plow snow with it? And you know what? It works great, and I have no complaints. But like last winter and the winter before, it's been all wet. So.
Yeah.
Now you give me ideas because I have a goal now. I think I need to install an antenna on the snowblower, and I think because I think this will drive people nuts. But do an FT8 while I'm working the snowblower. I can make some contacts. I mean, whether it's the 705, I got the phone, this, that. Like, I'm gonna have to try. I got to think of something.
160 meter ham stick on the snowblower.
That's right. Shannon basically told you go big or stay inside.
Hey,
exactly.
Hey, listen.
What do I always say? Go big or go home.
Yeah,
those ling girls, no, there's got to be a lingo in there somewhere about that.
I got to do it on 17 meters so that like the POTA police can show up and be like, "There's no contesting and no snowblowers on the workbench."
No snowblowers on the air. There you go. We got a new event.
Snowblowers on
Here we
the
go.
air. God bless.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll tell you this: when wires get covered, like I look out the window and I see it's like covered in like an inch of ice. I just get on the radio and start transmitting and calling out CQ. It'll melt that shit in like a few minutes. It's awesome.
That's what I don't like in the month. At least down here, the month of March is what I don't like. Yeah. That's when the icing is more. Its highest probability for us here in Southern Connecticut. I can't stand that. You see everything started doing the drips and everything.
Yeah. The wire, yeah. Well, I
don't like that.
I forget, Paul. What year was it when we had that big ice storm, and like we were shut down for like a week?
Oh yeah, that was somewhere between 05 and 08, somewhere in there.
Somewhere in that range. So we had this like nasty ice storm. I mean, it literally shut down everything. And I went online and I got on Granger up in Manchester, and they had a generator, and I was like, oh, and I was like, $750. I'm like, done. I mean, literally, we had no heat. You know, up here we're on wells, so no water, no heat, nothing. And I go and get this generator. Well, literally, I walk outside. Like, a guy's offering me like $2,500 for it. I'm like, nope.
Oh yeah, they do that.
I'm like,
yeah.
dude. And then they had they had guys again from Massachusetts up here with U-Hauls selling generators out for like $3,000, and people had like literally no. So what ended up happening is, like, I lived in this neighborhood, and all the wives went to where there was power with the kids and stuff, and I stayed with my 2 huskies, and then I bought the generator. I jimmy rigged it to the washer and dryer outlet. You know, it's totally backfed it. I know, totally illegal, but you know what? When you go like 4, 5, 6, 7 days and there's no power, like, no one cares. And at the time, I had what do you call it? The direct TV with the satellite. So once the sun came out and it melted, I was the only one in the neighborhood that had TV. So all the guys came over, you know. So it was me and the guys and the dogs. And, you know, we had power. And I said, listen, just bring over a can of gas. That's all we need. I got food, beer, whatever you want. But that was probably the worst storm in New England I've ever been in. You know, it wasn't snow, it was ice, but it, like, the trees were coming down, and it was just. And that's when I said I got to get a generator. Now, at least in New Hampshire, I know all new houses are required to have full house generators.
What I've done, Paul, because of situation like, again, I bought the first generator. Then you got to start doing with the gasoline. I got sick and tired of holding gasoline or getting gas. And of course, gas stations, if they don't have a generator, you can't pump gas. Went through one time with that. One time, I said, that's it. Got a propane tank, the big 100-gallon. Bought a propane generator. And now what I do is, in the winter, if it happens, I will snow blow a path so I can wheel it out, plug it
Yeah.
into the transfer switch, and I'm done. And I don't, you know what I mean? Just like you, I'm going to be sitting pretty because, and propane's good, man. Propane, I mean, I topped off the tank back in April. And I'm good for, based upon my load here at the house and what we use, I'm probably good for maybe 11 to 13 days, but I know after day 7, 8. But by then, if we don't have power by day 7, it's something serious, which is what we've had in the past. But the propane trucks will be running by then. So,
well, my propane company said if I get a whole house generator, you're you're prioritized on the other customers from getting fuel. I was like, oh, great. Well, how much does that cost? And like $15,000 to get a whole house generator. I'm like, $15,000? Like, what are you? That's a lot of money for it to happen. Like, maybe once
you'd rather buy a camper for that price.
I know.
Todd, I bought the Harbor Freight 9,500 watt generator, 9.5 kilowatt generator for $2,200. The first when we first moved here, we had that little nor'easter that blew through, and we lost trees. We had power out for 4 days. On day 1.5, the wife was like, take whatever we have left of the money that we used to move here, go buy a generator. And I did. And I tell you what, that stupid thing runs this whole house, 9,500 watts.
Yep.
It ramps up every once in a while, but it runs the heat. It'll even run a washer and dryer.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love that stupid little generator.
The only thing I have to do is my hot water heater. I play the game. I turn that breaker on while everybody is sleeping, let it heat the water, and then the next day you could take showers. That's the only thing I have to play the game with. And we have the gas grill so we can still cook. I have an electric stove. I don't like the electric, but for me to switch everything over to propane, it's just too damn expensive.
Hey, John, the 11 years ago, $6,000 is probably now $15,000.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, good point. Good point.
Yeah, the house generators, and I can tell when the power's back on because my neighbor back there, my neighbor across the street, I can see the little green flashing light. When it's flashing, when it's solid, that means the power's back on. When it's flashing, the power's still out.
And you know what's kind of sad too? Those guys who are selling generators on the back of the U-Haul trucks, we've always seen it in all the neighborhoods, right? You know, 2, 3 days after, you know, a vast majority of those people haven't prepped that generator. They don't run it with a load, no load, no load. They don't take care of it. They don't change the oil. There's probably still gas sitting in there for 5 years ago. And when they do need it, you know what's going to happen? It's not going to work. And I feel bad because I've told people you can't do that. It's an investment. You got to take care of it. It's a responsibility. It's just not one of those things of
Yeah,
one and
you gotta
done.
run them. You gotta run them like at least once every other
Yeah,
month or something, just to keep it to start
I
up and
do.
going. Yeah,
I run mine when I have to like trim the hedges. I have two. I have a little Honda EU 2000. Then I got the big boy. The big boy comes out in July, and I do some tree work, some blowing work, whatever, just to give it a load and just kind of, exercise it. And it's happy. It's happy
yeah,
because next time you go to start it, boom, right away, it starts right up and does its thing. You
Stay
know?
built is your friend.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
yeah. And
Is
I
it?
got a lot too, because everybody's running to the store for eggs. What is it with going to the store for eggs and bread and making French toast? They're gonna have more. Me, I'm out buying cigars, making sure I have enough cigars. That's all I care about. You know what I mean?
Toilet
Gotta
paper and
get
milk.
the milk, bread, and eggs.
Yep.
Yes, they do.
Toilet
They
paper.
do, Paul, and they buy too much. You know that because they get scared because they're watching everything. Their local weatherman. They're watching. Even like I've been watching the disturbances, down in the Atlantic right now. Some people are just it is amazing what that thumbnail picture that some of these places are using. I have no respect for them. They're scaring the hell out of people. They're not keeping it relevant because
Well, well, I
listen,
get.
we're
I
what 300 miles away from each other, 150 miles away from each other. My threats are going to be different for that storm. That could be for your and everyone's
right.
taking it
Well,
as an equal
I
piece
just
of
got an
fun.
alert. Like they're like, what is it? Humberto is danger turning their head could get stronger, and I look at the path of it. It's just going to be floating around the Atlantic Ocean. Like why?
Well,
Bermuda, yes.
Yeah,
Bermuda, yes, it's probably good, but we're not in Bermuda,
right. I
right?
know, but
So
why am I getting this alert? Like holy crap! Like I guarantee, like if my mother got that, she'd be like, "Oh my god, we got to get food."
Gotta get the milk
no,
and bread and eggs.
that's, hey,
Well,
do you guys have this? It's amazing with the liquor stores. People, just like in the supermarket, the bread aisles go on. People go in. People down here, they load up. I don't whether it's wine, beer, or anything else hard. The liquor stores do very, very well
yeah.
when they start screaming. You're going to be stuck inside for 1 to 3 or 4, whatever.
Well, you
They
might
get
as well have fun while you're stuck inside. And condom sales, probably.
well, and then 9 months later, you know what's happening. The hospitals are all going to be busy.
Yep. Dude, that's how it happens, man.
How about the
Hey, when
blackouts? Remember the blackouts? There was a big blackout back in the 70s. And I remember hospitals were reporting a huge surge in the maternity ward 8 months later.
Well, look at what COVID, all the kids that popped out from COVID. Holy
Yeah,
crap.
yeah.
they're going to be the
well, when you got
COVID.
nothing to do,
They're going to be the COVID generation
Oh my
from
God.
2020 on. You're the COVID generation.
Shannon's like, "This is the last time I'm gonna ever be on the Northeast Hams."
I should have said that last time when I was on Live Free and Ham for the 24-hour POTA camp out wrap up.
Yeah.
I
Are you
guess
coming back?
I'm a glutton for
I
punishment.
was gonna say
And then
you
you,
love
and then you're on Eric's like morning one. And I'm like, wow. I'm like, she's a trooper.
She's tough as nails.
How long were we supposed to be doing this live stream? I thought it was like an hour.
No, it was
24
8.
hours.
What is it?
24-hour live stream.
Yeah.
What? I bought eggs,
Paul's,
bread and milk for this.
yeah.
Yeah.
Paul's done close to that.
I mean, we haven't even done the what are we drinking round yet.
Paul starts drinking at like
Yeah, we
an
know.
hour ago.
I
Hey,
saw
look out.
the Grouch had like the Bud Heavy. Mike still has Utica left.
Yep.
Do you drink all the Utica
Well,
that I
no,
threw in your
Mike
cooler?
lives near Utica, so
Yeah.
he gets
Yeah.
beer.
He did.
Yeah, I can get it.
Oh. So
thi-
that's new Utica. That's not the old
Yeah,
Utica from
but
the
it's
camp
not just
out.
the new one. So here's let's see here. So here's the last one from the camp out, but here's the new one.
Your green
the
screened
tall-
out. There you go.
They're
Tall
tall.
boy.
Oh yeah.
The tall
different.
boys, huh?
Different
So,
tall boys.
yeah.
So what is that, Mike? Is that like a cream ale or is it a light?
It's a pilsner. It's
Okay.
just it's a beer. It's just blue collar.
Izzo, that beer has been around for probably
Prohibition.
over 100 years.
Yeah.
What's the cream ale that comes out of New York? Is it still
Genesis
being
Cream
made?
Ale, which is right here in
Genesis.
Rochester. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was something like in the summer you cut the grass, you wanted just something cool
Yeah.
and refreshing.
Yeah,
You don't want
what
a
is
water
it?
or
It's
lemonade.
Genesee, right?
Yep.
Genesee,
Genesee.
Yeah, because the
Yeah.
Genesee River goes from Lake Ontario down towards
Yeah.
like into the Finger Lakes and stuff. So yeah.
Well, it's kind of funny. Like I remember like coming up here and like someone was like, "Oh, they asked for like a Rolling Rock." Like when I was in high school, Rolling Rock was like the Natty Light. I'm like, right? I'm seriously like, I'm like I've seen people like, "Oh, Rolling Rock." I'm like, we used to
I
drink
like
that.
Rolling Rock.
Yeah, I know.
Rolling
Me
Rock.
too. The Rolling Rock, the Michelob. Remember Michelob?
They
Yep.
still, but
Regular Michelob.
Rolling Rock's what, out of Pennsylvania?
Yep. Latrobe, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
I feel
And
like
you
it's
should
just
get
Latrobe
you
right
should
on
you
the
should
bottom.
get was it a 24 pack for like $8 or something? I mean back then.
Fucking Keystone.
Yeah, Keystone, which is all
Light.
Pennsylvania. Yeah, that's all Pennsylvania.
I was convinced Keystone Light is the same as Coors Light, just in a
It
different
is.
can.
It's the same. Well, yeah. It's just
I mean,
probably
it's what, watered more down?
or, like cheaper ingredients or something, but it's the same brewery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Keystone
My uncle
Light.
used to drink this stuff called Rheingold. You guys remember
Oh, yeah, I
Rheingold?
remember that.
It came in and it was like in a brown. It looked like a barrel.
Yeah.
It looked like a barrel, and you just twist the top off real quick, and then we would line them up on the
Well,
banisters.
remember the
You know,
Foster's
pew, pew,
oil
pew.
cans?
Oh,
They
those.
still
Yes,
make those
yeah.
things?
Yeah.
Do they
Yeah.
still make
Yep.
them? I love Foster's. When I went to school, there's this place called Biederman's, which is it's kind of like it's got a bar, but it's got awesome sandwiches, and you watch the football games there. So it's kind of like a bar with a deli built into it. And they used to sell Foster's was like their cheap beer because like they would
Okay.
have like 15 beers on tap, and Foster's back then it was like always like $1.50. So like I hadn't been up there. I left college. I was up there, and I go up to the bar and I go, "Hey, you guys still have that $1.50 Foster's deal going?" The guy's like, "Haven't been here in a while." He goes, "We don't even sell Foster's anymore." I'm like, "Are you kidding me? That was the best deal going."
WHJ, was it J? I'm sorry, CJL says Molson. I remember the Molson. The whole Molson had a regular Molson. There was a Molson Labatt's.
Yeah.
They
Or
had like
Labatt's
3
Blue,
to 4. Yeah, they had that whole
Molson X,
Molson line was yeah.
Molson
Yep.
Ice. Yeah.
Yeah. John says it was skunky,
Yeah, it was
but yeah,
skunky,
man, we
but
all drank it, right?
Yeah.
That's the green bottle thing.
The green bottle, yes.
Where it's the green bottles. Like you get that with and I love
Rolling.
Heineken on tap, Rolling Rock out of cans and stuff. But like the stuff that's in green bottles,
Oh yeah, I remember
Beer
balls.
balls,
that
yeah.
skunky.
Right.
Just
Funny
under a
about-
quarter keg.
The beer balls. Oh my God, remember that? Because you didn't have enough money for a keg, or if you didn't have enough people for the keg, you got the beer ball
With the
instead.
pump
Yep.
built into it.
With the
I
pump,
remember
yeah,
finding beer
Yeah.
balls in the woods from kids' parties.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Nothing like drinking beer out of a plastic ball.
I don't know. I don't like beer personally. I've never found a beer that I like, so I can't really comment.
Do you like you were drinking? Was it the White Claws? You like the seltzers, or do you like ciders? Or
Yep. So I have a White Claw Surge, the
Okay.
pineapple flavor. I also earlier had a Carlson Orchard Honey Crisp hard cider. I like hard cider. And of course, I have my Live Free and Ham glass here with mead from the 1634 meadery in
Ooh.
Ipswich.
Look at you. Wow.
So
Nice.
you're getting drunk 3 ways.
It's a
Shannon,
Saturday
are
night.
those ciders? Are those ciders more seasonal? Is that like a fall drink? Is that a fall one, or are they available throughout the year?
Well, you can get
I-
cider throughout the year.
Yeah. They make some seasonal ones. I know like a couple of the cideries in upstate New York have some like donut type flavored, like cinnamon and apple donut type ones out this time of year because of the fall. But
Well,
and
you know
they'll
what
do
they do?
different
They get the
ciders.
apples
But,
from
yeah.
New Hampshire because they hire people from Massachusetts to go over into Todd's area, steal all the apples, and they bring them
And they
back to
ship them
Vermont.
Yeah.
over to New York.
They ship them over. That's what they do.
We got good apples in New York.
Oh, hey, there's some really good apple orchards up around Albany and Schenectady area.
Yeah.
When I was growing up as a kid, we used to always go out there.
Yeah, I guess
I think Altamont's one of
I
them.
guess that farm has like they have like where you go and pick your own apples, but then they have like backfields that are like the ones that they
Premium.
harvest, right?
Right.
And,
It's all reserved.
and
Yeah.
that's where they sneak in, and I guess that's where they're stealing.
Okay.
I'm like, I just thought. I mean, when she was telling me this, I thought she was BS. I'm like, people seriously steal apples? Like that's a thing? Like, come on.
Yeah, I guess when I went to the store earlier, because I figured I better stock up for this live stream. They had like pumpkin spice cider, and I was almost tempted to get it, and then I was like, no, I'm gonna stick with like tried and true. This sounded good because it was Honey Crisp, and I was getting the honey mead, so I figured maybe it would go well together. So
Black market fresh apples. That's awesome.
No.
Oh man. Well, listen, guys. I'm gonna have to bail out soon.
We should start to wrap up.
Yeah, I've got my kid is home, and I was supposed to pick him up at 6, but we had this, so the parents brought him home instead. I think he overstayed his welcome.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. You got anything coming up, Todd, before you bounce?
No, not really. Hopefully I'll be on All Star on Monday, so that's about it. I don't do videos yet. Still studying for my extra. Will be next year too. How many years, Paul, do I have? Hey, how many years do I have left before this thing gets changed?
The question pool, I actually looked it up because I've been dabbling too, Todd. I'm like you. 2028 is so whatever question pool you're using. So we have until
Listen,
2028.
you guys,
And
if
when-
I can do it, anybody can do it. Okay,
Yes.
you guys need to be extras.
When the question pool changes, and we'll just start over.
We'll just
Yeah,
a reset. It's a reset.
we all start.
Yeah.
No, it's pretty. I gotta I have to just set a date, and because that's how I did it with the general. Eric said, "You're doing it on the Marlboro, whatever that ham thing is. That's the date you're doing it." It was like 3 weeks away, and I was like, "Shit!" I'm like, I can't go in there and fail. I'll never hear the end of it. So,
Yeah.
All right, Todd, October 11th, sign up for the session.
yeah, not happening.
I'll do it.
Tell
Come on, Todd.
Huh?
Let's go.
October. I can't do
need
it
to
by
get my
then.
extra. Let's go.
We'll try by the end of the year. That's in a couple months.
I haven't
How long
studied.
Shannon? How long did you have to study for before you took the test? And how often did you study?
Do you
Like,
really
were you-
do you really want to know?
Yeah, you took
Yeah.
it right away.
How did
a
you
week?
do it?
I
did-
probably
how'd you do
studied for like maybe 2 weeks.
Straight? Like that's all you did, or
Oh,
All I did was memorize the answers to the questions, man.
yeah,
It's
I
not-
know.
But how did you get
not
through the
that
electrical
hard.
stuff?
There's
How did you get
600
through all those
questions.
equations and stuff? That's just it. It's the electrical stuff. I can't stand those electrical. Now, T.O. made a comment, and I got to look. He says, if you, I hope I'm quoting him correctly. T.O. said, if you skip all those questions, you still have the potential of passing, but
Yeah.
you got to get all the other ones 100% right. I mean, you have to get the other ones right.
Yeah,
I think
there's all kinds of scenarios like that with the exams. Like you know, like the math ones or the diagram. Like you can skip all that stuff, but you got to get everything else right. But everyone learns different. So go at whatever your pace is. But
okay.
I think it definitely helps to set, like that goal. When I was doing mine, it was like they were testing every month during COVID, and so I knew like the the date for the next test. I was like, I got 1 month, to get my general. I got a month to get my extra. They weren't at that point. I wasn't aware of online testing availability, so like I just went hard for 4 weeks. And
I think I'm just gonna do it and pass and just not tell anyone, and then until someone looks it up, and someone will be like, "Holy shit, it's been an extra for like 3 years."
Yeah. You should go out and POD it in the extra frequency.
Yeah, somebody wants to bust you. Somebody wants to bust you for being out of band.
Yeah, that's how you guys will know.
You throw them out.
I'll do POD on the extra bands.
You could totally sandbag it on the podcast. Just give the wrong answers and keep dragging it out.
Just dragging it out forever. These guys giving me shit. Yeah.
These tests are infringement of my civil liberties.
Ape. Awesome.
All right, guys.
Well, thanks for being on, Todd. And,
it's good seeing you guys, and I'll be on next month, hopefully.
Yes.
So,
Todd, are you going to Nearfest? I think you said you weren't.
Yeah, I am.
You
I'll
are?
be there Friday.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll see you up there then.
Yeah, I'll probably be up there. I got to work Friday, but I'll be up there Friday after work. So, I think we're doing a live stream, aren't we?
Oh, yeah.
For Live Free and Ham, is that the one?
Is that going to be Friday or Thursday?
So I would imagine it'll probably be Friday. There's a good possibility that I'll run the net.
Nice. I was gonna ask that.
We'll see.
Yeah. 701.
So are we all, like, if we were all going to be there, are we just going to be, like, crammed on one camera?
Oh, no, there's going to be multiple cameras.
Last year we had cameras, or in the spring we had cameras in all directions.
We had cameras even in Todd's tent.
I didn't have a tent. I live like, 20 minutes from the place. I won't be, I'll be going back home to my own bed. But yeah, I'll be there. I get out of work. I'll probably get out of work around 3. I'll probably be up there around 4 or 5. So should be good. All right, guys.
Awesome.
Have a great night.
Todd.
73, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
What about you, Michael? What you got coming up soon?
Still packing for Nearfest. My buddy, by the way, Paul, Tim is gonna look you up when he gets up there. You can't miss him. He looks like a little leprechaun, or a troll, or bridge troll, whichever you want to go with. You met him last year. He's gonna be up there on Thursday. I think you can't set up or anything or do anything till like 3 o'clock or something like that.
Yeah, 3 o'clock is so when you're allowed to go in and set up.
He's going to try to find us a place near the main road, and he's going to camp up on the hill. I'm bringing my camper. We're going to set up on the hill. So it's probably pretty much going to be Northeast Ham Radio people on the hill.
Nice.
Getting Meshtastic. I just put in an order. I haven't dabbled in it yet, but I just bought. Let me see. I'll tell you what I bought, and you can give your opinions.
900 megahertz for the win.
What's that?
I said 900 megahertz for the win.
Yeah, so I got a little mag mount LoRa antenna. I got a SenseCap car tracker, the T1000, and I got ESP32 modules. What I wanted was the Voyager, but they're looking like 2-3 weeks out on a Voyager, and I wanted one for the top of my truck. So I don't know. I'll see how that goes, but I will set up some kind of little base station on the roof. And yep, the Wombat Command Center will be up there, parked next to the Grouch Command Center. I don't know if I'm going to put the full annex on this year. I don't know. I think I'm just going to put the tarp out and the roof, and that's it. I don't think it's supposed to rain either. I think it's supposed to be really nice weekend.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Yeah,
and
don't jinx it.
And I'm not parking in a low spot.
Where's Miles? Get Miles out there.
As I say, is Miles going to be there to help bail you out?
Miles going to give you a moat again.
The shovel will be in the trailer.
I don't think Miles will be there because I plan on being there Friday during the day while Miles is at school, but we'll see. Maybe I'll come back on Saturday during the day.
Well, do you know where the camping is, Shannon? Up on top?
I have no idea. I actually haven't been to Nearfest since they moved locations. The last time
Okay.
I was there, they were at the old spot.
Well, if you're down by the creek and you're looking up the hill, the camping is way up the hill. Just the strict campers. A lot of people RV with their sales stuff too.
Mike, are they going to allow visitors to come in, like hang out in the camping area, and then like
Oh
leave
yeah,
at
yeah. You
say
can
like
wander
9,
wherever you
10
want.
o'clock at night or something?
Yeah, you can wander wherever you want.
Good.
They don't even close a gate. You can drive in at 10 o'clock at night if you wanted to.
I'll tell you later in our chat. I'll tell you what my itinerary looks like. So.
Okay. I got a cot if you need it.
I got a bed reserved for me. All right, that's so. I'll tell you guys later what I'm doing.
Well, tell us now. What do you got coming up the next week, Izzo?
All right, I got to take care of some men's health. If you know where I'm going, I don't want to turn this into 80 meters, but I have a scheduled appointment on Tuesday morning. What out? Oh, everyone went black.
That
But
thing
I'm
is
off from
too
work.
loud.
When I get
Turn that down.
when I get out of work tomorrow at 4 o'clock, I don't go back to the following Wednesday.
Okay.
So I got to take care of some men's health. I'm on some serious diet restrictions, and I'm going crazy because I'm reducing what I'm eating and how I'm eating, and I don't like it. And I'm miserable. But once that thing is done on Tuesday morning, Tuesday afternoon, I'm going to go back to eating, and then I'll be traveling probably Thursday night. Thursday afternoon, I may come up, get to where I got to go, and then wander towards you guys, and that kind of thing. Well,
Make sure you send us some pictures. Post them on the Discord.
of Tuesdays, no, we're not. No,
We
no,
want to see what makes Izzo tick.
no. You don't want to. You don't want to see that side of me. It's important. Every 10 years, it's got to get done. So, we'll just leave it at that.
All right.
No,
Shannon,
that's more
help
like
us change
4.
the topic. What you got going on?
Hey, women got to do it too.
It's the 12-year-olds.
Yep. No, Shannon, seriously though, would you got anything coming up in the next week for POTA, Ham Radio? YouTube?
I mean, I don't have anything planned, but I mean,
Okay.
possibly if we're gonna try to get Paul a kilo at Russell Abbott, then maybe he would like a YL voice to cut through
The secret weapon. The secret weapon. There you go.
I don't want to push in where I'm not welcome. So, I'll wait for him to make the offer and invite me on a POTA. But otherwise, I don't really have anything planned, but you never know. The mood may strike me and I may just need to go out and get an activation. So,
Is Abbott the park?
even if I have to go without Paul, I'll go
Is
by
Abbott the
myself.
park closest to where Nearfest is? Is that one? Because I was going to go to the map tomorrow just to see where all the POTA parks were in relationship to Nearfest.
I don't know. I've only activated one park in New Hampshire, and that is Robert Frost Farm. It should have been 2 parks, but since the logs still have not been recovered from the 24-hour POTA,
we know nothing.
Yeah, I was just about to look and see if those logs got submitted yet.
Oh,
no.
Those logs have still yet to find their way out of the computer.
Oh, jeez.
It's okay. I don't hold grudges. I have now activated New Hampshire thanks to the efforts of Paul inviting me to Robert Frost Farm. So I'm grateful.
It was a good time.
Yeah, I
What
mean,
you got coming up, Paul?
I might go back there honestly because I had preamp 2 on my FT710 with a noise floor of 0, so it was amazing.
There you go.
What you got going on next, Paul? What's the week ahead hold?
Well, so kind of like I mentioned at the start, I got a bunch of RV upgrades and things that I need to do this week. I'm going to try and get the inverter finally installed so that I can at least make coffee on battery. I'd like to get over to Russell Abbott, Monday, Tuesday. I looked at my POTA stats today. I think I'm at 755. And with the way that 10 meters has been open lately, like it should be gangbusters. Like, just go out there and sit by the lake for 4 or 5 hours and just get that knocked out. I do have a few more videos that I'm working on. Parachute Mobile Jump number 2 should be coming shortly, and then
Excellent.
got a couple POTA videos and things. So yeah, dude, that Parachute Mobile, that video, like, I wish that I had been able to fly with a camera as well, because what you missed from Carlos's view is as we left the aircraft, right? The plane did a nosedive, and then he came back and he circled around, and he flipped sideways and flew directly in front of Carlos, and then did a big barrel roll and loop-de-loop thing. And I mean, it was just so cool to see, like, this plane flying around Carlos while Carlos was flying his canopy.
Awesome.
But
Oh my God, that would be great.
yeah. So, but anyways, yeah, that's what I got coming up, and appreciate all the channel members in green that have been in the chat, and all the channel member support and Patreon support.
Awesome.
What about you, Mike?
So it's been a struggle since the camp out. Like, like with back to school kids, you got kids, like everything revolves around the school calendar, sports, activities, and everything. So and then you throw in this whole landscaping project we're doing around the house. It's been nuts. I did sneak out. Fortunately, like I'm blessed that my son has football practice in a POTA park. So I did a couple quick,
Wow.
activations this week and stuff, and he's got basketball tomorrow. And I'm going to try to sneak out while he's at basketball rather than drive home and then drive back to pick him up, and do a POTA for like an hour or so. And I found an antenna recently in my research online that I haven't seen anything like recent about, like anyone using this. And it's a speaker wire antenna, and it's not in Walt's book. So
Dude, speaker wire works great.
yeah, and so this is a speaker wire vertical that's not in Walt's book. I just came across it, and it should be pretty easy to build and play around with. And I debated, like, okay, if I want to do something with this antenna, should I do a lot of testing? Should I just freaking cut the wire and go play POTA and see how it goes? Because I want to do both things and whatnot. So I'll probably build the antenna, tomorrow morning real quick before basketball camp for my son. And then, try to do like a quick POTA and maybe, see what bands I can work and how it goes. But yeah, and it's just been a struggle to, I've been on 4 freaking live streams this week, but I haven't been able to do like a video in 2 weeks. It's just, it is what it is. But yeah, so I got something I found that I haven't seen a lot on, and maybe worth doing a little dive into. I came across it, and I teased it the other night on Frank's live stream. I did a video on the skeleton sleeve dipole, that I did for 2 and 6 meters that you can do for any 2 bands. And a lot of people hadn't heard about it, and it was this obscure antenna, but it works. And sometimes it's fun, you find some of these things in old antenna books or, old articles that haven't got a lot of attention recently, and it's like, oh, let's see if that works. Let's have fun.
Well, here's the thing:
Nothing
is
to it
that,
but to try it.
Yeah.
you
Yep.
know, it's like almost every antenna has been made at some point, right? It's just they remake it and
Yep.
they rename it to something different. So, you know, really, is there anything new under the sun?
Nope.
Probably
Really, I
not.
don't think, yeah. Yeah. So that's what I'm looking forward to. So hopefully I can get that thing cut and get it on the air tomorrow and toy around for a little bit and stuff. But other than that, yeah, maybe after the next week things get back to normal, and I can go make some antenna. I got so many antennas. I you know, especially after Matt give me a couple of Reliance ones at the camp out and some other. I got so many. I got a whole list of to dos. I think we all do in ham radio. It's yeah.
Hey, if anybody
Never-ending list.
That's by paper cuts. It's
if anybody wants some GMRS base station antennas, I'm bringing up 3 or 4 of them with me. So if anybody wants GMRS commercial UHF, I have a bunch of them. I will be bringing with me.
I wish I was going now because I have the Baofeng Mini GMRS versions. I got to test out in the next week, do a video on. So I know that Todd was talking about those earlier. The Mini Baofeng UV5Rs. I got the GMRS versions, and they are small.
These are power mount antennas, so
okay, cool stuff. All right, I'm gonna hit the button, folks.
Wow.
You got it?
Right.
I guess so.
You're just
maybe?
shutting us off like that?